intermediate courts,
Yeah.
you're going to get beaten back. That's why I feel like we're all demoralized. But Steph, we can't give up. We can't lay down
Yeah.
because you got to fight the monster. You can't feed the monster, and laying down is feeding the monster.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm thinking this is just this series of threads breaking. Trump just told DHS Secretary Christine Noem on live TV to look into arresting
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
So I wanna say thank you, 'cause it makes me that much stronger, makes me work a little bit harder, makes me that much wiser. Thanks for making me a fighter.
So all we need are 4 Republicans to join us in support of their constituents, to have John McCain level courage and stand up in defense of the health care of the American people. What type of party would bring a bill to the House floor that rips away Medicaid?
And scene. There are not. I'm mathing the math. There are not 4 Republicans with any working soul or conscience that are not Trump's little bitches. Oh, who's that guy? This didn't age well already.
Yeah.
MAGA House Representative, what's his name? Oh, Derek Van Orden of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Pushed back on the notion that Republicans always cave to Trump.
But they do.
He said, we're not a bunch of little bitches around here, okay?
Oh, bitch, please take your line of bull down to the corner market and sell it there, because this five and dime isn't buying your line today.
All right, so I just had a wardrobe, dilemma this
Malfunction?
morning. Do I wear Republicans, they really are that evil, or Republicans, bad idea factory?
All right.
They're all available at stephaniemiller.com, and they're all true. This guy, Van Orden, just in case you don't know who this guy is, he declared Democrats are lying about GOP plans to cut Medicaid. This bill cuts Medicaid,
yes.
to the tune of, what, 1 trillion? Anywhere up to
11
20
billion.
million people. Up to 20 million people will be out of health care. He also attended the Capitol riot. That's nice. That's like a, almost
All right.
required now, isn't it?
Yeah.
He publicly threatened a constituent for asking about Doge and filed to impeach a federal judge who ruled against Doge. So that would be that particular awful Republican in a party of awful people. All right. You said it yesterday, Chris. You know me, I try to remain happy clappy.
Yeah.
Because even the ones that are doing it for the wrong reason, I'm like, we will take it. Whatever wrong reason you're voting against this sandwich.
Yeah, but they're not voting
But they
against
don't, it's so predictable. The stupid dance between Murkowski and Collins and who gets to look moderate. And Maine, please stop buying this
Right.
bull. And then,
That's
the
all the
House Republicans acting like they're going to
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
That's all the performative part.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We watch this do-si-do every single
Exactly, yes.
time. It's
I'm old enough to have seen this probably about 5 or 6 times.
Oh, Lord. And meanwhile, can you give me I need a moment of joy. Give me Maria Bartiromo.
Oh.
Yesterday live on Fox Business.
We are waiting any moment now to get the jobs numbers for the month of May. The expectations call for the ADP numbers to be up 95,000 for the month of June, rather. It's the June jobs data, and we'll, of course, right now seeing the number actually show a decline in jobs, down 33,000 on ADP.
Bless her heart.
She, if you want to know what happened right after that, she changed the subject
Yeah,
immediately.
totally.
To the Golden Dome or
Yes.
something.
And both eyeballs moved to the same side of her head.
Yes, exactly. Her giant flounder-like eyes that are too far apart. Yeah. Okay, like those, when you shake that little, what was that little thing you used to have and the guys went, it was a little toy you used to have.
Googly eyes?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, mommy's tired.
I can tell.
Those are on a lot of toys.
Yeah,
Right?
and like
Googly eyes. You
all
can
the
shake it and
toys.
they go,
Yeah.
like they're on slide whistles. Her eyes, when there's bad news for Trump, are on little tiny slide whistles.
She like those glasses
Yeah,
with the eyeballs
comedy
on
glasses on springs,
Yeah.
where her eyes just woo, bad job numbers. What? Okay. Oh, and he announced, Baby announced, do we have our big announcement music? Baby announced, carry the 5 divided, but of the 90 trade deals in 90 days, we have yet another pastiche of notions regarding Vietnam,
Yeah.
which is a horrendously bad
Yeah.
deal.
We're ending up
Yes.
paying more or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
20%, which,
Right.
Nike, Lululemon, a lot of companies, right, we pay more, they pay nothing.
Yeah.
It's the same deal that he turned down like months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it somehow works now.
yeah, because, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to, I'm trying to hide my pain. I need some good cleansing swearing
All
from
right.
Representative, just whatever the latest MAGA freak out is over. By the way, Trump just called Joe Biden a son of a bitch yesterday
He did.
at Alligator Alcatraz. Oh, God, don't even get me started. Okay, so was the clutch the pearls that he swore? Representative Josh Riley of New York.
This bill will kill good blue-collar manufacturing jobs that we need to rebuild the economy in this country. It closes rural hospitals. It defunds health care, all to give trillions of dollars in tax cuts to your cronies. Don't tell me you give a shit about the middle class when all you're doing is shitting on the middle class.
Thank you. Thank you, mic drop. He's
That was
from,
good.
first of all, he's from New York. I'm from New York. Is there a human from New York that doesn't swear? It's like,
You're from upstate,
swearing
though.
and spitting. That's like our language.
You're from upstate, though. They're a little more
Oh, no,
civilized
no.
up
There's
there.
still a lot of swearing and spitting.
Okay.
Someone in my bike club had to tell me to make sure I motioned to people behind me before because I thought I was spitting in front of me.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
oh, stop.
Staff.
Because, I'm,
Physics.
right, but anyway,
If
I've
you
had to
spat-
be instructed how to spit properly
Yeah.
when I'm bike riding because I'm a lady. I'm
If
an
it's-
effing
I was
lady.
going to say, if it spat in front of you, wouldn't it just
Yeah,
hit
come back
you?
and hit
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you're spitting to the side, and so it goes and hits the person behind you.
I'm still Miss Congeniality in my bike club. I'm still beloved, despite my disgusting habits. Okay. Wow. What? Yeah? Okay, so, you know what? I should know better than to say new low, that we've hit a new low, because then what? Then what happens?
Because then we hit another
Not
new
only
low.
do we announce the concentration, now, when I say we, I mean Republicans and Donald Trump. And when they announce the concentration camp in Florida, that's when I'm like, oh, that's our, I don't know, something broke in me. And now it's the merch section. The Florida Republican Party, actually, this is their tweet. Feds approve Alligator Alcatraz, Florida's gator-guarded prison for illegal aliens surrounded by swamps and pythons. It's a one-way ticket to regret. Grab your merch to support our tough-on-crime borders. Limited supply. Get yours before the gators do. Ha, 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 ha. See, because that's so funny. Because it's funny. Because it's about human beings that haven't had due process, that aren't charged with any crimes, that would get, the death penalty, basically, by alligator.
I just learned this morning that Louisiana has more alligators than Florida does.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
I
and
didn't
Trump.
know that.
I didn't know that either until this morning.
Trump also. What was the thing? Oh, the official. This is the fact that this was the official White House account. Where is it? Where is it? Hold, please. They put out a thing, right, with Trump, and the alligators have ice hats on, and Trump's.
Yeah.
Yep. So that happened. Oh, here it is. Hold, please. Yes, the White House, the official White House. So this is the official Florida Republican Party and the White House. Mark Trump's visit to the controversial migrant center in Florida's Everett. It's not a migrant center. It's a concentration camp. That's what it is. Which has been dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, with at least partially AI-generated social media posts that was swiftly condemned as shameful. Thank God some people in the country still have a soul. It showed Trump alongside 3 alligators wearing caps labeled ICE. The image said, Alligator Alcatraz, make America safe again. It echoed an image shared by noted puppy killer Kristi Noem. Have I mentioned that this party's made up entirely of awful people?
Psychopaths.
Okay. I just thought I would, yeah. Which showed 4 alligators with ice caps in front, in caps in front of the prison, like fence. Okay. And by the way, it's already flooded. They got like 1.5 inches of rain, and it's already flooded.
Yeah.
Right. It has standing water on its first day of operation. Spectrum News 13 captured footage of water seeping into the tent onto electrical cables. Once again, the cruelty is the point. They're going to go, oops, bunch of people got electrocuted. Oh, well. Oops, hurricane killed a bunch of them. Oh, well, not our fault.
They shouldn't have been
Weather.
in the country.
Yes. I've seen right-wingers post that, Chris, about
know.
all of this stuff. Like, well,
know.
they shouldn't have come here illegally. And on cue, we get the news that Albrego Garcia was tortured, was beaten and tortured in El Salvador. Because, of course, he was. Because that's the point. That's why you send them there.
The cruelty is the point.
Yeah. Okay. It's the whole, you know what? I need a day off. I'm just going to take a day off, America.
Okay.
Happy 4th of July. Good luck.
You need frangula.
May the 4th be with you.
You need frangula is what you need.
I do. And we have them coming up, and we have Dr. Redliner and Carl Frisch.
And you also need Joy Reid on Monday.
I know. That's going to be fantastic. And Rude Pundit on Monday.
I know.
And Joy Reid, right? Frangela sent me another clip of her. And I was saying, Chris, to Frangela, she's just working at a level that nobody else is working at. She has such an amazing, as I've said before, but just depth and breadth of knowledge of history, of all of it. And she had they shared a clip of her talking to Malcolm Nance about black involvement in protests and all that. We'll talk to Frangela about all of it, but really amazing stuff. Just like, whatever they always say, that fifth dimensional chess, something.
Whatever.
Something. I'm not. There's gaps. She's Harvard educated. I have gaps in my education. I don't work at that level. I'm somewhere down
You have
here.
a theater degree from USC.
I'm down here cheating at Battleship. She's up there five-dimensional chess or something.
Whatever.
But at least you could play Antigone.
Yeah. What? Okay. Good Lord. Okay. By the way, here's something I saved for Angela because this is fun. Everything old is new again.
Okay.
Concentration camps and what else? Slavery. Yeah. Heather says Trump and the GOP's dream is to have a system to, quote, sign up immigrants for work, a new type of, quote, temporary pass that gives farmers ownership of immigrants, makes immigrants pay to be the owner's responsibility, makes immigrants' freedom and path to citizenship non-existent. Slavery. The GOP dream is to return to slavery. That's what slavery is. Mm-hmm. I can't even believe the words that are coming out of their mouth. They use the word ownership. The farm owners are responsible for them. I can't. Okay. I'm teetering. Oh, John Pavlovitz, my pastor.
Yeah.
One quick one before we go.
Okay.
The cue springtime. The most sobering part about becoming 1930s Germany is realizing that no one is going to come here and liberate those being brutalized. If this historically inhumane regime is going to be overthrown, we, the American people, are going to have to do it. Thank you, John. Yeah, no one's coming to save us.
You know what?
What did Paula Poundstone said? It's a Batman movie with no Batman. We're just going to be waiting, calling Commissioner Gordon, and we're just like, no.
Crickets.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, if the absolute worst should happen, I could totally see the EU coming in and liberating.
Yes, we're already on Human Rights Watch and travel advisory bans.
Yeah. It would be the opposite of what happened during World War II.
Yeah.
The EU would come in and liberate us.
Yeah. We're going to talk more. There was another piece in the LA Times yesterday. What do I keep saying? LA under siege. We are under siege. We're under attack. Brown-skinned people targeted, tackled, taken. It must stop. We filed a federal lawsuit. I mean, we got to fight back every single way we can. But, we're going to have Mayor Bass on next week.
Yes, on Wednesday.
Oh, good. Okay. Lot to talk to her about. Okay, let's start the big show.
Okay, then.
Me talking is not really the show. It's,
what?
Packing
Your
material.
name is on the show.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, but I'm
You're above
I'm the least good thing about it.
You're above the title.
You
are the title.
People really want to hear more from Bella. They're like, shut up, Grandma. Let's hear what the youngs think.
Well,
Okay.
they definitely don't want to hear from me.
Well, that's universally true. All right, 19. Oh, although, wait, hang on. Oh, could you have Yankee Doodle Fart ready for me? Because you know I love notes. You know how much I love notes? I love notes
Who's
so
this a
much.
Note for?
Huh?
Who's this a note for?
Well, just me.
Oh.
It's me. It's my fault. But I feel like it's very unfeeling about baby Bella. Lazu says, can we stop with the conversation about Bella's gastrointestinal issues? It's gross. We don't need to hear about that, nor getting any updates. Wow. Thanks for your compassion
Guys,
and empathy.
It's not the bottom half, it's the top half
Right.
I'm having issues with.
Right.
It keeps coming up.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your concern for the baby of the family. God.
It doesn't go out the other end. It
No,
comes up
that's the
top end.
problem.
Oh, we all got notes, by the way.
Oh, we did?
You got a note, yes. Lawrence said they are called food deserts because no privately owned grocery store will take the risk of
know.
not making any money in that area, which is why a Democratic government should step in and offer lower priced food for those citizens. I agree with Mom Dami. I think one a borough is a good idea. Chris Lavoie. Okay, and then would you like my note? Okay.
Oh, God.
Madge says, Dear Stephanie. Oh, Stephania. This is a no, Stephania. No.
Stephanie.
Yeah. It's Hermie the dentist, not Herbie.
It is. I gave up trying to correct you on that years ago.
I know it's Hermie.
Why do you say Herbie
See,
then?
now someone's going to go back to the Steph cast and find me saying it because
Yes.
I don't think I did.
You did.
No, Stephania, no.
Love you. You're the most wonderful and beautiful radio host in the history of reality,
God,
both real
whatever.
and fake. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, that's why I read that, despite it being correct, that I needed to be corrected. And I'm going to talk about Bella's stomach every day, you ghoul.
I have bad news. It's not ending anytime soon.
Yeah,
it's gonna
she stopped her
keep-
medication run yesterday.
Yes,
Oh.
my medication run stopped yesterday. I have Pepsid AC on standby in case I need it.
Just in time for 4th of July.
Yeah.
God.
It's your theme song.
Farting Yankee Doodle.
Yes. Yeah. But when in doubt, I'm asking for fart noises.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow is the 4th of July, so.
Exactly. Here, I'll add this. This is like me playing on a tambourine along with Bella's theme song.
So you're like the little partridge girl on tambourine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aren't you glad you took this job, Bella?
Yes.
Okay.
We are so late.
I know.
You
because
broke
for that
early and then
nonsense.
you were
for Hermie the dentist and fart noises.
Yeah, we got time.
All right,
And
21.
my note.
Bella's in charge. She says it's fine.
Okay.
21 minutes after the hour. Okay, hi. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Steph.
Yeah.
I'm teetering a little bit today, I have to tell you. All right, well, we did want to, just because it's breaking news, the P. Diddy stuff, because people have questions. I honestly haven't really been following it a lot, but just give us your summation of what's happened so far.
Yeah, so first of all, it's not surprising. When you have a case with multiple criminal charges, it's not at all unusual for a jury to convict on some counts, but not all counts. The two most sort of frequent reasons for that: one, the prosecutors didn't prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt with respect to some counts, but they did for others. But here is what's often at play. It's what we call a compromise verdict, where you have people in the jury room disagreeing about 100 things, including what to order for lunch, never mind the proof at trial. And some of them say, listen, all right, we will convict on counts 1, 2, and 3, but we're not going to convict on counts, 4, 5, and 6. Are we all in agreement? Yes. Okay, let's do this. Compromise verdicts sound wrong because they're not, strictly speaking, based on the evidence, but appellate courts have said they're just fine. You are not permitted to what they call pierce the veil of jury secrecy. They can reach verdicts for any reason they want, and it looks like maybe that's what they did in this case.
Okay. Because Bella and I were saying, if you're not following it, you're just like, it's on tape. I mean, obviously him assaulting her, at least, is on videotape. So,
But he wasn't charged with assaulting
Right.
her. He was charged
Right.
with RICO conspiracy.
Right.
He was charged with
Yeah.
a violation of the Mann Act, basically transporting people for purposes of prostitution. And he was convicted on 2 of those criminal charges. That carries up to 20 years by statute. So it's not like, he's out of the woods or he
Right.
got away with anything.
Okay, well, that's, I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point. I think we're all feeling so, just
Beaten
downtrodden
down.
about the rule of
Beaten
law.
down.
Yeah, beaten
Yeah.
down, exactly. And, Chris and I were saying, first of all, I keep saying it all morning, Glenn, but something broke in me yesterday watching,
Yeah.
Trump and Kristi Noem and DeSantis giggling about alligators eating people that not only haven't had due process, haven't even been charged with a crime in this alligator Auschwitz that they're building in Florida. But anyway, I don't even know
Steph,
where
let
to
me just
start.
say, I am right with you and yesterday I think I posted, listen, we all know that some summers are defined by a particular occurrence. Remember the summer of love in 67. Remember the summer of Sam in 77 when everybody was scared. Summer of 2025 is either the summer of autocracy, the summer of indecency, the summer of lawlessness. I don't know what it is. I'm sure there are plenty of punchlines
I
there.
was
but
saying-
we're all getting beaten down.
I was saying, would you be surprised if Trump pardons Diddy on whatever thing he is convicted? I mean, it's just
And offered him a cabinet position. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Just yesterday, he threatened to arrest and deport Mondami, the newly, primary elected anyway, mayor of New York, Mayorkas. Who else? CNN. I can't even, just this last news cycle. Where are we? First of all, DHS has admitted 94% of ICE detainees have no criminal record. Chris and I were talking just to ask you what's going on, and let's just take LA. How are we allowing in America somebody to get out of an unmarked vehicle with no insignia and no warrant and put their hands on people?
We're allowing it because we do not have a Department of Justice that will enforce the law or represent the interests of the American people, which is what they are supposed to do. Instead, they are representing the interests of and catering to a criminal president in the Oval Office. So the only place we have to turn are these lawsuits that are being brought, often successfully, by either individuals or organizations like Democracy Defenders Fund, the ACLU, the NAACP Defenders Fund. There are so many who are going into court and challenging these things. But then, when you're corrupt at the top, the Supreme Court, and even if you win in the intermediate courts, you're going to get beaten back. That's why I feel like we're all demoralized. But Steph, we can't give up. We can't lay down because you got to fight the monster. You can't feed the monster. And laying down is feeding the monster.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm thinking this is just this series of threads. Breaking. Trump just told DHS Secretary Kristi Noem on live TV to look into arresting her predecessor, Alejandro Mayorkas.
Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
I desperately need a sweaty church whore. Oh, there's one. Hi, Lucretia in Milwaukee. Hello.
Hey, good morning. Oh boy, I'm doing my best to sit and get this before the heartbreak. I do have some unfortunate news. I got a message from my friend this morning that they had to stay shelter in place because we had another ambush on a cop here. It was in Shorewood, which is still part of Milwaukee, but I'm glad to say that he is in stable condition. But at least to the part that how many effing people have to be put at risk before smart, laws for gun control. Yeah. I had this conversation with my boyfriend yesterday. We are all for the Second Amendment, but you can be safe about it. Look up Maxwell Frost, and he says that with his chest to that old wrinkly bitch Virginia Fox.
By the way, can we put this to rest finally? This whole Republicans are the pro-cop party. I mean, it is
exactly.
I mean, first of all, you know what's in this bill? Tax breaks for silencers. Yep. You know who the people least want silencers? Cops. Because, okay, this one, Blount County, Tennessee, Ed Kelly, who Trump pardoned after the 1/6 insurrection, sentenced to life for his retaliation plot against the FBI office in Knoxville, developed a kill list of officers involved in his 1/6 case. I mean, of all the myths, right, that we need to put to bed, that's one of them. Exactly. If they are any kind of pro-military or pro-cop party. All right, 29 minutes after the hour, Carl Frisch is next.
In Congress, we can measure how much people really believe in their position by whether they're willing to come and join their leaders on the House floor. Well, I count 4 members on the Republican side, and we've got over 75 over here. But if I were them, I wouldn't want to be associated with this bill either.
Yep. Thank you, Jim McGovern. And by the way, you made a good point before the show, Chris, that, when people go, oh, what's the point of protest? What's the point of what Hakeem Jeffries is doing, speaking so long and yada, yada. And he just said, I don't want them to pass this in the dark of night.
Exactly.
I'm going to speak until some people see at least what they're doing,
Exactly.
And again, the point of protest, as we talked to Malcolm about, is to show, to give people courage, to show that there are more of us than them, and that we're not alone and we're not afraid.
Yep.
All right, this guy says this all the time. That guy.
This guy.
Carl Frisch. Let's talk to our fancy Fairfax County School Board friend, shall we? CarlFrisch.com. Tons of fancy book learning and about to get even more. Good morning, Carl Frisch. You're already too fancy for this show as the head of a school board.
What a great morning it is.
Oh, boy. Carl, it's a lot. It's a lot this week. Even for I just realized yesterday it's not even 6 months yet.
No.
And it's just between this, alligator Auschwitz and this bill, this unbelievably cruel bill. It's a lot, right?
They've described it as a marathon session of votes. And I think that's apropos because these Republicans are going to be running from this vote for the rest of the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Here in Virginia, hundreds of thousands of people are likely to lose their medical coverage, millions more across the country. Many who live in states that voted for Donald Trump are going to find out exactly what they get with that.
The difference, Carl, and you know this, between the parties is, I guess as someone said it, I actually care what's going to happen to you and your kids and your family. Even though you didn't care what happens to me and mine. I think Democrats legitimate. That's what separates us as a party, though not perfect. We actually care. I mean, this will, as everyone says, this would be great for us politically. How many people are going to die? How many people are going to suffer?
Well, and this is why it's cruelty on the other side, because even if it was just about money, it is a lot cheaper to take care of people at the outset than it is to wait for it to become a crisis. And so, it's cruelty. Because that's not something that they're focused on. And
it's all lies again. Trump, first of all, reporting is he didn't even know it cuts Medicaid. He had a meeting with House Republicans yesterday. They had to tell them it cuts Medicaid because he's like, oh, no, it doesn't touch Medicaid. He doesn't even know. He doesn't know what's in it. He just wants a big 4th of July party to go, yay, me. Look, and he doesn't know anything about anything. And they just lie. Caroline Leavitt's like, oh, it's no taxes on Social Security. It's just blatant lies, Carl.
Yeah, it's the big beautiful bill is just a catch-all for the special interests that propelled Project 2025 and this candidate forward. And of course, he doesn't know what's in the details. He doesn't read what's in the details.
We've talked about tips before, but I loved AOC on this.
On this point of tax on tips, as one of the only people in this body who has lived off of tips, I want to tell you a little bit about the scam. The cap on that is $25,000. While you're jacking up taxes on people who make less than $50,000 across the United States, while kicking them off of the ACA.
And also, as we were saying, it only applies to cash. Who tips in cash? And come on, let's be honest, who reports a cash tip anyway? So it's just there's a lot of smoke and mirrors again.
I grew up, my dad was a cop and my mom was a waitress my entire life. My mom waited tables.
Yeah.
And I observed her life, our life change from the time that tips were mostly in cash to when everybody was walking around with either a credit card or an ATM card and tipping that way. And so it did change the industry significantly. and a big percentage of tips are now on plastic. And so AOC's right. Like, you can't call this a benefit for them when you are actively taking money out of the other pocket. If you want to do right by servers and service industry folks, don't just remove the tax on tips, get rid of the cap on it, but then also ensure that you're paying them a fair wage.
And by the way, I love how she owns that she was a waitress and a bartender or whatever, because they can't. I'm so sick of this. The Democrats are the coastal, are the elites, and look down on people. They disparage her all the time about that, and she always owns. She's like, I'm not ashamed that I worked for a living. Like they disparage her by calling her a waitress or a bartender, right?
That's because she also got her fancy book learning.
Oh, God.
So,
Speaking of which, Bobby says, just a bit of a history lesson. Hitler's concentration camps started out being temporary migrant detention facilities. They also sent letters to households to self-deport. They started out denaturalizing people of African descent. Then they moved into denaturalizing people of Jewish descent. This doesn't happen all at once, Carl. I mean, I visited Dachau, when I was in college. That started, again, if you read your history books, that started as a migrant detention facility, quote unquote. I mean, and here we are, right? Not just, now people are cheering for it and selling merch. Like, I guess I keep asking all week.
And you've got a president who's openly saying that he wants to deport natural-born citizens and naturalized citizens.
Yeah.
So
does that not send a chill up everybody's spine? He's just, just kind of popping off about, oh yeah, let's go, okay, and Chris was saying they're already blaming the media about reports about Alberto Garcia being tortured and beaten. Because I said, of course he was, because that's why you send someone to a gulag, right?
that is what that prison is, okay? And that is why they are sent there, because it's no holds barred. And he's not the only person who has reported this behavior there.
Because you're an LA boy, I try to talk about it every day because we live here. This one hits really close to home. Alicia says they took the flower vendors by Forest Lawn Cemetery in Griffith Park in LA yesterday. People selling bouquets of flowers for grave sites. People that stand there for hours, day in and day out in the blazing sun off a freeway exit, literally standing in the dirt so someone's family can honor their loved ones with flowers. That sure doesn't seem like MS-13 terrorists or criminals to me. It's sickening. I can't say enough about what we're experiencing here, Carl, in your hometown.
Well, this is because it was never about MS-13, right? Like, it's about all of them. It's about everyone. And, and it's not just about undocumented immigrants. It's about other immigrants as well, which we're seeing the attacks on that system and the system of asylum seeking, visa permits, and everything else is under attack. So it is not just an attack on undocumented immigrants. At the end of the day, these attacks on one group's rights are attacks on all of our rights.
Yeah.
And they undermine the fabric of our Constitution so that we are all impacted. And we are all more likely to be personally impacted because of it.
It's not even just cruelty anymore with the GOP, Carl. I mean, it's gotten into just sociopathy. I mean, so Laura Loomer normally would just be a fringe lunatic, but she's someone that has the president of the United States ear. Did you see what her tweet about, alligator Alcatraz? First of all, there's not 35 million illegal immigrants in here, but she's like, that's 35, million meals for alligators or something, like something that they think is funny somehow, right?
Yeah. Let them all die. I mean, that's essentially what they're saying.
Exactly.
It says a lot about what they actually think of people, the way they treat them in custody. If they treated them with a modicum of respect as they are deporting them, this conversation might feel a little bit different, but they don't.
Yeah.
People, men, women, children, they're being kept in small cells, like sardines, nothing to sleep on, no changes of clothes, no feminine hygiene products. No showers, sometimes little food. So that is how you know what the administration's intent is here. and it is not good.
Yeah. So we reported they were expecting to add 110,000 jobs. We lost 33,000. These trade deals he just announced. Craig says Trump announces his trade deal, quote unquote, with Vietnam, which increases taxes on American consumers while decreasing taxes on Vietnamese consumers. The zero rate tariff offer in Vietnam was proposed in April 4th. He's essentially done nothing in 3 months. A true genius at work, the art of the deal. And not only is he accepting virtually the same exact compromise Vietnam has had on the table for 3 months, this is actually Trump accepting a deal he rejected 3 months ago and calling it a win again, which he's going to do with everything, right?
I mean, there you go, liberal media, once again, pointing out that Donald Trump simply agreeing to something he didn't think was a good idea earlier is not master negotiation. What it does is it sets up the next deal to be just as bad.
Yeah. So Rolling Stone did a piece. They and their tweet is Mamdani is not in the country illegally. He does not have any connection to 9/11 or jihadist terrorism. Mamdani hasn't actually said or done anything anti-Semitic. He did not call to globalize the Intifada. He's not a communist. So here we go. I was actually happy. I saw Ken Martin, chair of the DNC on TV this morning, and he didn't run away from this. He said what I would hope he would say is that we're a big tent. And I was saying at this point, we go from Joe Walsh to Mamdani. And obviously the people of New York have spoken so far, but he said we're a big tent. And he talked about the good things that he did and what a great campaign he ran, right? And didn't run away from it scared, right?
Yeah, I think one thing that's at play here is people not wanting to talk about the issues that drove the election, right?
Right.
The issues that people are talking about around the dinner table, everyday issues that impact pocketbooks and wallets, cost of living, the price of groceries and everyday essentials, transportation, all of these things that impact people every single day.
Yeah.
The distraction away from those issues is exactly what some people would like to see happen.
Well, I was saying that's why comedians have become the truth tellers and the democracy warriors. I was telling Bella that Stephen Colbert did a joke about when 33-year-old Mamdani won. He said, "Oh my God, my other 6 roommates are going to be so psyched." And Bella has 22, has 2 jobs and 6 roommates.
Yes.
Yeah. To afford LA. And so it's of course that resonates with a lot of people, but particularly younger people, right? Why do you think her stomach is effed up?
Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, the crunch on the cost of living impacts people in many different ways, whether it's people having difficulty affording the children they have, whether it's people struggling to move out from their parents' home, whether it's people with more roommates than they might like, but they're not going to kick that one roommate out, and there's always that one roommate.
Yeah, the one, Bella.
Oh, I know the one. The one.
They're all boys, too. It's like living in
well, then there's always those 4 roommates.
Yes. She's like Snow
cave.
White living with 7 dwarves.
Oh.
Except they do nothing.
They serve no useful purpose.
Yeah.
Carl, one last one before we go, just because this is a conversation we've had past elections and coming up, because again, the other thing is, I don't know, I'm not that confident of Americans' memory by the time the midterms come around, but I have to assume they're going to feel the really awful effects of this really awful bill. But this one, Trump posted on Truth Social that jobs are pouring into the USA on the same day the June job growth numbers were minus 33,000 and about 130,000 less than expected. It may seem tedious at this point to just call out his obvious lies, but here we are again. Is he going to continue to win on just a wall of lies that jobs are way? What did he say? Gas is the lowest. It's under. What did he say? Under $2 in all these states. It is not under $2 in any state. I mean, anyway, go ahead.
People are not buying it. Look, we just had Jerry Connolly died here in Virginia, and they just had the special caucus to pick the Democrat to replace him. Not run by the state, just the way the Democrats are picking their candidate. Almost twice as many people voted in that caucus that only had 10 polling places across the entire district than in a previous primary in the exact same district run by the state with hundreds of polling places across the district.
Yeah.
So record-breaking turnout for something like that.
Yeah.
bodes well for Democrats in 2026.
Yeah, I hope there's a backlash, Carl. Did you see Trump's post about, I'm not going to let this happen to New York, this communist, I hold all the levers of power. Like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. The nation's largest city is not allowed to elect their own mayor now. Like, but you put nothing past him what he would do. I mean, he's already threatened to arrest him, deport him. Like,
The only guardrail in Trump is whether he thinks it's good for him politically or not. That is the only guardrail that he cares about. So, the other thing at play here is that his Justice Department broke a whole bunch of rules and lost a whole bunch of career prosecutors because they gave a sweetheart deal to a corrupt mayor in New York City.
Yeah.
So that they could get cooperation on going after undocumented.
And Trump admitted to that. And he admits to everything in the open now. He's like, yeah, I spiked that deal. And, Eric Adams is his guy. I mean, you know what to do, New York. Mom Tommy in a landslide. All right. Carl, happy 4th of July. Best of luck to you and America.
Let's celebrate our freedom while we have it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yay. Yay. Bye, honey. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
49 minutes after the hour. This portion of the...
When we got Malcolm on, the first thing he asked us was, what's up with this Diddy thing?
Oh, Malcolm.
Yeah, we're trying to absorb it ourselves. We don't know yet.
Yeah,
it's a good thing you got Glenn Kirshner on the hotline.
I know.
Otherwise, we'd all be legally scrawled.
I know. I mean, Malcolm, we were saying, I don't know whether it's this, 24-hour news cycle, but just them laughing in front of, Alligator Auschwitz and passing this awful bill. It's hard to... I think as a human with any degree of empathy or a soul to kind of absorb, isn't it?
It is. And this is, I did a Spaces yesterday on Chatter. And one of the people that came out there was a MAGA person. And they essentially challenged me to say how any of this was awful. And I explained to them that, even though I was at one point, Colin Powell, like, conservative, which is now flaming left liberal,
right.
That I have empathy for people. Democrats like people. We don't want to see people hurt. We want to see people supported. And that I didn't go overseas and fight and protect all of these rights for decades to see us start acting like the Nazis.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm seeing here, especially with this concentration camp that they have in Florida. And that's the only word you can say.
That's right.
It's you can say, oh, it's actually just an internment camp until they put them on an airplane and disappear them overseas. Well, that's just as bad.
I mean, Malcolm, to your point about asking Glenn Kirshner, you retweeted John Cooper, who said literal cages in sweltering 100-degree temperatures. Ron DeSantis should be brought up on criminal charges. I mean, someone else pointed out, as a pet lover, you can't keep pets in those conditions, or someone would call animal control on you, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. And here's the kicker. There are camps like this in Texas, Arizona, Louisiana, and if I understand that in Texas, they are keeping children in those exact conditions. There was a doctor who was interviewed yesterday, and she was saying how they were finding the teens and preteens were having to take care of children as young as 1.5-year-old who were walking around with no diapers, urinating on the floors because they deliberately chose to separate parents from the children as punishment and are keeping them in these inhumane conditions. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a little tangent here. I said this also yesterday on my Spaces. If we win the presidency next time and we control the House and the Senate, or even just the presidency, that unitary king-like president that they've created for Donald Trump, a President AOC, could order to send people to The Hague to be brought up on crimes against humanity with some of the stuff that they're doing. I'm ashamed that I had, that this is happening in my country.
Yeah. I mean, Malcolm, not to trigger you further.
No.
But Stuart Stevens, speaking of, former Republican, said every Republican who claims they support Ukraine and voted for Trump lied. We have a functional Russian asset as president elected in 2016 with Russia's help. You've heard that in all the other horrible news. He's cut off military help for Ukraine.
Yes, and interestingly enough, you're getting me on all the subjects that I spoke about. In the middle of the night, the BBC called me and had me talk about their morning news hour. to explain this. And I was, again, ashamed to have to say that the United States is claiming that we are keeping these air defense weapons for our own purposes, to keep our inventories high for a war, when in fact the war that we would be fighting is literally in Ukraine. It's a death sentence for these people that they're keeping Patriot missiles, the NSAM missiles. Let me tell you, there is nothing to do with inventory. Our inventory, we have the ability to generate enormous amounts of resources if we want. And every one of the missiles we send to Ukraine are not the newest. They're the oldest.
Yeah.
Same thing with the artillery shells. They've cut off shipments of artillery shells, which, by the way, was running 3 factories in the United States, all in red districts, which are now going to stop providing artillery shells to Ukraine. It's disgraceful.
Yeah.
Stephanie Miller. What? It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. This would be another sign of why Donald Trump is president, and also the apocalypse. Okay. CNN reports people are pouring baby oil on each other outside the Diddy courtroom and chanting, "It's Rico, it's not Rico, it's Frico." It's a good time to be alleged rapist / sex trafficker or whatever. I know I'm not a lawyer, Chris, but I don't know if that's not sex trafficking. I don't know what is. I get it, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It's like he's getting 20 years, but it's still the principle of he should be put away for the rest of his life. Like, this is not.
Well, it's about, justice sometimes not being black or white, but green, Someone was saying it reminds them of the OJ. Yeah, that, you can buy an awful lot of reasonable, what's the thing? Reasonable.
Doubt.
Yes, that's it. Thank God we have a long weekend. Yeah, I mean, I didn't, we were saying we didn't really follow, it's kind of not our au revoir, but but that's what I mean about, it's not just the alligator Auschwitz, it's people buying merchandise and people laughing about it and making jokes but this, I guess people think it's funny, but not funny to the women that were victimized here. Okay, all right. Paul and
that concludes our Diddy segment.
And that concludes our Diddy news for the day. Okay. Paul in San Francisco. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yes.
I am a huge fan, and you guys are a huge part of my life, so I just wanted to say that right off the bat.
Oh, thank you.
Well, what's coming next?
I feel a butt.
Yeah. No, you were talking to Glenn Kirshner yesterday, and something that in your discussion really made me want to call in for the first time, just because I served on a jury last week for a very short trial, 2 days, but it gave me a real window into how unpopular verdicts can happen. Yep. It was nothing like TV, and that's just something everybody should understand. It's like being given 10 pieces of a 500-piece puzzle and not being able to see the picture on the box and having to put the picture
and
together.
Paul, somebody was talking about just the advantage that fame gives you, that, they were there for jury selection and that some people wanted to be on this jury. And, I just think that when I just read about the case, I'm like, how is that not
sex trafficking.
Right. But
and,
most people, I mean, I've served on a jury as well. And when you're on a jury, you realize the importance of what you're doing, and you just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
Most people aren't there to seek anything.
I know. I think we're just so exhausted about the justice system and the rule of law right now, and thinking he could get a slap on the wrist or Trump could pardon him for. I don't even know. I don't think he can if there's state charges. I don't know which charges are which. I didn't. Anyway. All right. Hey, who wants some more doom?
Oh, great.
Dr. Erwin Redlener next.
So the U.S. media is talking a lot about secession these days. That's this fall's clickbait. A recent poll from the University of Virginia Center for Politics showed that 52% of Trump voters at least somewhat believe that the red states should secede from the United States. I'm still waiting for certain Trump supporters to secede from the Confederate States. But don't worry, though. No one's actually going to secede from their Social Security or their Medicare or their Medicaid or their pension or even their Obamacare. I know it's shocking, but some Trump supporters haven't actually thought certain shit all the way through. Also, keep this in mind. Donald Trump had 74 million votes. Half of that is roughly 12% of the overall population, and dwindling. Because the GOP and their media keep telling conservative people not to trust medical safety precautions during a plague. It's almost like they realize they don't need these voters to win elections in certain states anymore. But then a recent YouGov Brightline Watch poll said that 2/3 of Southern Republicans would back secession. Allow me to offer a solution. Right-wing extremists, we're going to offer you your own sovereign territory. Here's how it works. Y'all get a big chunk of Texas, okay? Or you can get chunks of 2 different states. I don't know, you want 2 full states? I love Alabama and Mississippi, but you guys can take those states and we will just bring in DC and Puerto Rico and keep 50 stars on our flag. The free, independent, trickle-down republic of Whitopia. Then all the racists and white supremacists, all the fascists, all the oligarchs, all the Proud Boys and 3%ers and Oath Keepers, rich guys escaping taxation. Middle-class white folks escaping somewhat browner neighborhoods. Industrial polluters escaping anti-pollution laws. All the white women who are dead inside. All kinds of ignorant, mean Americans escaping critical thinking, pandemic safety guidelines, proper English grammar, and portion control. All the men who still can't spell "your" properly. Welcome home. No taxation, no regulation, just like Somalia, but mostly Caucasian. Fly your Confederate flag. Ban abortion. Ban gay marriage. Ban being gay. Close borders. Open carry. All the guns you want. All the drugs you want. All the junk food you want. And no vaccines. Except for the rich people of Whitopia, who will then tell the working people of Whitopia, you don't need those vaccines. You know, like it is here, now. And Supreme Ruler Trump gets to go full Scarface meets Caligula. Military parades in his honor, his face on gigantic billboards, stadium rallies. He can execute drug dealers on camera. He can marry his own daughter on camera. It's going to be like a Werner Herzog movie. Trump and his 2 sons, Fredo and Shemp, they can show up wearing full military uniform if they want. And best of all, he can sell his supporters even more merch. And all the liberals and progressives and moderates and sane Republicans will stay here, and we will work together And we will fight, and we will compromise to try to help the majority of Americans. But we only have one condition. Before you secede, we get to install cameras everywhere. At the 3-month mark, we turn the cameras on, and the rest of the world gets to watch it streaming for $100 a month on pay-per-view, just to see how well your economic theories really play out with no interference from us. At the 6-month mark, when Whitopia has become a third world shithole hellscape with no regulations, ruled by a dictator thug who dresses like the captain of the Love Boat, then we'll send over a tiny piece of those pay-per-view profits as foreign aid. At the 1-year mark, we're going to have a lot of desperate Whitopian caravans of refugees at our southern border begging for amnesty. Boo-boo, I don't think so. Mexico's that way. Go make your case to them. America's full. And we have to build a wall. Now, of course, none of this will ever happen. Every red state has blue cities. Every blue state has red counties. We are interconnected as a people. We will rise or fall together. America is where you're stuck with people even if you can't stand them. You know what that means? We're like family. It's true, there are two Americas, but I view us as being more like a pair of conjoined twins who share a heart. We don't see eye to eye, we're not the same, but we can't be separated because we share the same heart. That's America. Although, in reality, in this scenario, only one of the twins has a brain, and the twin that doesn't have a brain won't stop just beating the crap out of the one that does have a brain. The one that has a brain just has to sit there, I guess, and fucking take it, because that's civility, right? When the brainless twin goes low, we gotta go high, so we just keep getting pummeled in the face by our brainless twin, because we share the same heart. And that's America. And they asked me to end this on a positive note. This is cold.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
I found the preamble to this big ugly bill. We the billionaires and our king, in order to deform and sicken our union, establish injustice, ensure domestic servility, weaken our people's defenses, undermine the general welfare, and reserve to ourselves and our posterity staggering debt servitude for eternity, do hereby instruct the Republicans in Congress to strip 17 million people of their health care.
Yeah.
Aye.
Pretty much.
Thank you, Jamie Raskin. Okay. This guy might know a little something about that. If I'm going to get bad news, I want it from him because he's very handsome. Dr. Erwin Redletter joins us now. MSNBC medical expert. Dr. Erwin Redletter.
Here he became Dr. Doom.
Dr. Erwin Redletter is the founding director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness and senior research scholar.
Dr. Doom.
Oh, hi. Oh, you're holding your own head up.
I'm wondering if, Dr. Doom used to be enough.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. Can I go Hyper Doom?
Yes, we're in a Hyper Doom. Yes, we are.
Hyper Doom, but,
yeah. Where do we even
geez,
start
Stephanie,
this morning?
I don't know. Every day, man. Every single day.
Yeah. I mean, this bill, well, you said, first of all, you said two breaking stories. One, the sudden withdrawal of $7 billion meant to support vulnerable school children. Two, the raw glee expressed by Trump and the Republicans who opened what amounts to a concentration camp in an alligator and bug-infested swamp for migrants. Welcome to America, the cruel. That's it, right? That this is just this is who we are now, I guess, and what we look like to the world until we do something about it.
Yeah, there's not even like a pretense of trying to develop, quote unquote, better policy. This is simply now degenerated into just a slugfest of seeing who could develop more cruel policies than the last person. There's absolutely no explanation other than raw desire for cruelty to be inflicted on Americans and Americans who live already with adversity. The motivations here, Stephanie, are so dark. It's so awful. We're obviously not trying to fix the economy or lean towards conservative opinions about what we should be doing economically. We're just benefiting rich people and hurting people of limited means. And by the way, not just the poor. We're hurting all the MAGA aficionados who just happen to love Donald Trump no matter what.
Yeah.
And look, I don't know where this is going, but I'm actually worried, really worried.
Yeah. I mean, Mehdi Hassan said it. Difficult to overstate how depraved, racist, sociopathic, and fascistic the modern Republican Party has become. I think it was Jason Bateman, who's fantastic, I think, but was saying that you particularly after what happened with this bill, you have to hang this on the whole Republican Party. This is not just, Trump or Trump voters. This is the entire Republican Party. The
entire Republican Party, none of whom seem to have the wherewithal, the guts, to stand up against something that's not only just bad policy, that is actually evil.
Yeah.
And I think we've crossed the Rubicon here, and we're now dealing with a different form of government than we had 5.5 months ago.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, America. The 249-year experiment is coming to an end. We're into a new era in American policy, domestically and internationally, and I guess we're going to have to live with it. And hopefully, something will happen in the midterms. But I wouldn't say I'm jumping for joy and enthusiasm about that either.
Yeah, I mean, but you sort of in your last thread there kind of pointed to the difference as. Where is this? Covey said, hang on, got it. Greenberg said, in Nazi Germany, most Germans didn't know about the concentration camps. Here we have Americans who not only know, but are buying merch of their favorite camp. I mean, that's the difference with, social media and all that. People are laughing.
Yeah.
People are laughing and cheering.
Yeah. So, you sort of, in some ways, you're hesitant to kind of really absorb what this all means for the country. And I really do think it's a turning point because, at every sector of our lives, things are going in a very, very bad direction. And let's say we magically could say, okay, we're going to have a Democratic Congress and a Democratic president. Even if we had that magically tomorrow, a lot of this won't be reversed.
Yeah.
What we've been doing on destroying immunization programs globally is going to kill a lot of children. There's no other way to put it. These are death sentence policies that are emanating from a cruel administration that could just care less. It's pretty wild. And the other thing that just sort of ticks me off, Steph, I must say, well, a lot ticks me off, but this in particular, here we are coming into the 4th of July weekend, and these people have effectively stolen the concept of patriotism and have embraced it in a MAGA suit of clothes that excludes people who really care about American democracy, myself included. And I'm just beside myself trying to figure this out here. But
I read a story yesterday. I know it's I can't even find it now. There's so much bad news about the measles outbreak, and that somebody wanted to get their kid vaccinated, and how much it cost, like $1,400 or something. I mean, only rich people are going to be able to afford to keep their kids alive. I mean,
maybe that's the idea, Steph. Maybe this is is there some plan at play here that's even more nefarious and scary than what we're actually seeing? I don't know. But, People keep saying, read the entirety 900 plus page Project 2025, and it is all laid out. And I don't know where this is going to go, but we know we're very, very worried that we're changing America in a very fundamental way, and I think that's the problem right now.
Paul Begala, you obviously have a lot to say about, a lot of stuff, medical research, cancer research. Paul Begala said there is a 1 in 3 chance you'll get cancer. There is an almost 0 chance you'll be hassled by an undocumented immigrant. But the GOP is spending $170 billion to go after undocumented immigrants while cutting cancer research by 40% to around $4 billion per year. That's right, $170 million on undocumented people, $4 billion a year on cancer research. I mean, dear God, right?
No, exactly. And when they say we're cutting down or we're cutting back on research, this is not something that is a switch that you turn on and off. When you say we're cutting back on research grants for essential medical research to deal with things like cancer, that means those researchers, those men and women who are doing this work, are leaving to go somewhere else and do something else.
Yeah.
And you can't just snap your fingers and get these people back at their desks and in their laboratories. And I think this is why, compared to even all of the other agencies that they're raising hell with, the stuff they're doing with HHS and global health is probably the most far-reaching and the most damaging to the well-being of all of us.
Yeah. Well, you called it a public health clown show. You and Lori Garrett went after RFK Jr., et cetera, on TV this weekend. Lori Garrett, I loved. We called her the Cassandra of COVID. Yeah. She pointed out no one liked Cassandra because she was always right about how bad things were going to get.
Annoyingly right, yeah.
But you said the horrific damage JFK Jr. is doing to science-based healthcare, to the well-being of Americans, to our global-leading medical research, and to America's global reputation will be tough to reverse. I mean, it's like you say, that's not stuff you can just stop and start on a dime. I mean, this one, I have an entire stack for you. The FDA's top vaccine official rejected broad uses of 2 COVID vaccines, citing unknown risks or injuries, despite assurances of safety from dozens of staff experts, according to new documents. He's the agency's new chief medical and scientific officer, stunned agency veterans. Records show the FDA's vaccine staff members had signed off. It's the new Novavax, I'm sure that you know, Novavax, vaccine, the alternative to the mRNAs. And the next generation of mRNA COVID shot by Moderna for anyone 12 and over. So whoever he is, he overruled those recommendations by the end of May, instead advised restricting the use of both COVID vaccines. The changes means doctors will have to write so-called off-label prescriptions for younger people who want protection from the virus, which experts said could be a barrier for some patients. They're just making it harder.
The day before yesterday, we actually had credible scientists and physicians and public health experts making decisions that would safeguard as best as possible the health and well-being of Americans. Then all of a sudden, by fiat, we have clowns and fools and liars, basically, occupying the highest positions in government when it comes to making healthcare decisions, and they're led by their gang leader, Bobby Kennedy Jr., the guy with the dead bear cub in Central Park, and the brain worm, and the other insanity, and the damage he's done globally around vaccines. This is the guy in charge now. We beg the American Medical Association, do everything you can to get this confirmation defied by appropriate medical legitimacy. And Senator Cassidy, who ran the committee, probably would have rejected Kennedy if organizations like the American
He
Medical
lied.
Association
And then
said,
he
"Don't
lied.
do it."
And then he lied about lying. When a congresswoman said, "You lied to Senator Cassidy," and he said, "No, I never made any such promise to Senator Cassidy." It's on tape. We just played a brilliant John Oliver monologue, Doc, where he debunks all these ridiculous statistics that are complete. Like half the people in Japan have diabetes, and I mean, he is, as you said here in your thread, you said a victory for the purveyors of crackpot science and debunked conspiracies. He is just a crackpot. And I mean, when a comedian does a better job than the medical community of going, this guy's a crackpot, and every single statistic he threw out is complete BS.
Complete BS. And it's not harmless BS. And this is the thing that's driving me crazy, Steph. The BS that he's spouting is affecting you. It's affecting our children, and it will for a very, very long time. And, you know, it's like one of the subtle things, of course, is that you know, the people who are going to be affected are the people with the least political power.
Yeah.
And that is basically immoral. And that's what we're dealing with now.
Doc, this HHS cancels junk science journal subscriptions is the headline. Scientists at several federal agencies are losing access to scientific literature published by Springer Nature, which produces the prestigious journal Nature, among many other high-profile titles. They said, the HHS said, precious taxpayer dollars should not be used on subscriptions to junk science. Well, here we are. Up is down, black is white. Real science, they call junk science. Their junk science is what they call real science.
I thought you were going to say precious taxpayer dollars should not be used to fund crackpot lunatics in charge of our health agencies.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were going to say, but no, disappointed again.
Can I just say, Bobby Kennedy Jr. gave a rambling interview to Tucker Carlson, going deep into anti-vaccine rhetoric, accused Anthony Fauci of creating COVID-19. He's such a lunatic. But admitting Trump's trade wars are hurting people and businesses. Every now and again, he says something true, right? He said Joe Biden pardoned Fauci because, quote, he had a lot of liability on creating coronavirus. When Tucker Carlson even asked what the rationale would be for engineering a deadly virus in a foreign lab, the health secretary had no answer. Because, of course, he didn't, because he is a lunatic. He said, I try not to look into other people's heads. And then he again went on to say vaccines cause autism.
We got worms to do that. We don't need people looking into other people's heads. Exactly.
These are the conversations they're having in 2025. Carlson said, do you think overall the COVID vaccine killed more people than it saved? Bobby Kennedy said, my opinion on that's irrelevant. I wouldn't say one way or the other. Oh my God. All right, quickly. I just have to save this because you're doing such great work in Ukraine. Ann Applebaum says Trump is slowly, quietly lifting sanctions on Russia and halting previously allocated munitions to, without an announcement. U.S. policy is beginning to favor not a ceasefire, but Russian success. Tweet 2, Zelensky signed a mineral rights deal with Trump in exchange for weapons shipments, only for the Trump administration to come out and say they're halting weapons shipment. Let this be a lesson to every country, quote unquote, negotiating with this regime. I said this at the time, Doc. Zelensky should not trust Trump as far as he could throw him. I said he's going to welch on this on the weapons deal after he gets the minerals.
But Zelensky had no choice. What's he going to do? He needed and needs and will need the United States of America, in addition to Europe, supporting his ability to defend their democracy from this lunatic next door.
It's just he's a liar. Like, I knew that he was going to do this to him. That he's like, oh, thanks for the mineral rights, and he's going to, and back out on his part of the deal on the weapons. It's just, it's a bad week, Doc. But
it's a bad week, Steph.
Happy 4th of July. Hooray.
Yeah, let's go set off some damn fireworks.
Yeah. Let's celebrate the America we love, and we're going to bring back someday.
Yeah, yippee. All right.
All right, 21 minutes after the hour. That was
guys.
That was his version of yippee-ki-yay, mother.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, 21 minutes after the hour. Speaking of Jasmine Crockett, do we have that Joy Reid audio from yesterday? Oh, first of all, Joy is booked. Joy Reid on
For Monday.
Monday. Yay! Okay.
Yes.
I keep trying to remember what she said. It was so perfect. Something about something is not adequate in the face of fascism. What we faced in this 24-hour news cycle. I just love this.
In the case of Jasmine Crockett, a rational party facing actual fascism would say, who are our most effective voices? Who do the people listen to? Who do the people trust? Who do the people want to hear from? If it's Jasmine Crockett, we don't care who's in line.
That's right.
She's about to be the leader. We're going to put her as the head of whatever this committee is, make her the head of oversight, and put her on TV every day. But that isn't what Democrats do because they're orderly. And orderly is insufficient in the face of fascism.
That's it. They're not playing by any rules. And thank you, by the way, McCarran Bass. Our mayor said shocking. Turns out the Trump administration's decision to needlessly deploy soldiers in L.A. instead of preparing for actual emergencies was as reckless and performative as it was predictable. Support our troops. Pull them out, all out now. So we'll see what happens. It depends on Trump's mood, right? The army itself is saying they're not doing anything. There's nothing going on in L.A. They're sitting here twiddling their thumbs, right? Yeah. Okay. Anna says a very unfriendly reminder. It's considered animal cruelty to keep pets in the same condition being described at alligator Alcatraz. Yeah. I made that point earlier. One more. Debbie says, why are the Marines and the National Guard still in L.A. where no one's been killed and not in Idaho where 2 first responders were actually killed?
Yeah. And I don't know if you heard about this, but Paramount has agreed to pay $16 million.
I just talked to Glenn about that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
You don't listen to me, do you?
What? Huh? Yeah.
Bella, you heard that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to feel like I'm not like a who in Whoville. Yes, I know. Okay. My friend, my good friend works at Viacom, and she's just as disgusted as the rest of us. And you knew that was
many
coming.
People at Paramount
and by the way, it's so this merger will go through that that Viacom needs. And I'm telling you, if they do something else to piss him off, it's not going to matter. That the bully always comes back for your lunch money again. I don't know how many times I can say it. Dumarley says they built alligator Alcatraz in a matter of weeks. I made this point earlier, to house over 5,000 people, yet they can't build facilities to help the homeless and needy or make housing more affordable and accessible. I just, yesterday for the first time, just felt like, are we just completely morally broken as a country forever? I hope not. I mean, I just, we obviously, this is on point for us here in California, homelessness. And you're thinking, they did that in how much record time? To basically torture people and not to house people that need it anyway. Okay, one last one.
Those housing conditions that they just built in a week are not
suitable
I know. Anyone to live in,
I know, but I'm just saying it's like they take all of this taxpayer money to do that, a crime against humanity. Coffee Break says, crazy how one white American male assassinated a government official, their spouse, as well as the dog, and another white American male set up a death trap for firefighters to snipe them all in a few weeks, and yet immigrants are the problem. Right? Here we go. I mean, Donna says, after your middle-class parents' entire life savings is depleted in a nursing home, Medicare kicks in. You think gutting Medicaid won't ruin you? I was saying this would have been me and our family, had my mom not passed already. And here is Mike Johnson with his BS. Mike Johnson, Representative Mike Johnson, too.
Reinstituting work requirements, right? If you're a young, able-bodied man, you should be helping to pull the wagon, not riding it. And so we have this very popular provision that says if you're going to receive Medicaid, you got to show that you're working or at least looking for a job or volunteering in your community. Sean, for 20 hours a week. It should be much more, but that is a minimal requirement that will reduce a lot of the abuse of the program.
Oh, gosh. It's just sad I missed the opportunity to tell my mom how lazy she is. Okay. Senator Warner, by the way, I want to get you guys' take on this. He said, sick and tired of Republican senators coming to me privately saying, Mark, keep speaking up. You're our conscience. I don't want to be their damn conscience. I want them to vote their conscience. Well, a lot of people are now saying, name names, right? Yeah. Fred in New Hampshire. Hi, Fred.
Hi there.
Hi.
I have a one-sentence poem that's patriotic for our country, and it's a question. Here it is.
Okay.
As firecrackers boom throughout our great land, isn't it comforting to know that somewhere a Trump supporter is blowing off their own hand?
Okay.
Thank
all right.
you.
Wow.
All
All right.
right.
Okay. No, thank you. All right, everybody, go find your joy, your patriotic joy this weekend. Do it. People are under a lot of strain. Okay, let's do an update. Shall we, Christopher?
Okay.
Elias says, here's what's happened since Trump claimed he totally obliterated Iran's nuclear program. 1, it immediately came out that damage was minimal. Their race to a bomb had been set back by a few months at best. 2, Iran quickly got back to work enriching uranium. 3, Iran blocked all access to its nuclear facilities by international inspectors, leaving us with zero visibility into their progress towards a bomb. Trump could not have botched this more if he tried. Well, at least the jobs numbers are good. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, no. A shock jobs report shows the worst unemployment drop in years and a massive blow to Trump economy. Minus 33,000 jobs after a gain of 110,000 was expected. Second month in a row of jobs reports falls well below expectations. I mean, oh, my God. 29 minutes after the hour. Frangela coming up. Hooray.
Republican leadership and the White House are jamming this bill down our throats. And for what? We are not on a deadline, no looming crisis. We're here because Donald Trump wants a 4th of July party to celebrate this garbage bill. He wants fireworks and flags and cameras, not for this country, but for himself. Sounds more like a cult than a Congress to me.
I'd say I love me some Jim McGovern.
Yeah.
Bringing the fire. Rude Pundit with some advice. He says any House Republicans looking for cover to vote against the bill were given a gift in the terrible jobs numbers. Less than 6 months in, the Trump economy is failing. Are you going to cause it to sink even more just to appease a deranged lump of moldy cheddar? Well, we have our answer, and the answer is yes, they are going to appease the lumpy mold of deranged lump of moldy cheddar.
Last time I
Pardon
checked,
me.
Hakeem Jeffries was still talking. Let me double check.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Douglas says we're already heading into a recession. The dollar is falling. Jobs were supposed to be up 100,000 in June, but instead they're down 33,000. Trumpflation was supposed to go down, but instead is going up. And Jessica with one last one. Both parties are the same. One party feed kids lunch at school. The other party feed people to alligators. Both. Have I ever said that before? That both sides don't do it. I think that's worth pointing out.
Jeffries is still talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark in Portland. Hi, Mark. Hello, Mark.
Good afternoon or good morning.
Yes.
Hi. So, can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Are you there?
Yes.
My idea is that the blue states should have an obligation to withhold federal tax dollars to the federal government after being attacked and penalized by the rogue administration. And it's more of a declaration of codependence from the federal government on blue states because blue states actually run this country.
Yeah.
It's the financial backing.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Seska talked about this yesterday, about just finding new creative ways to fight back against...
It's not entirely legal to withhold money from...
Well, that really holds them back, doesn't it? What did Joy Reid say? Who will join us Monday on the show? Rules are not... Or what is it? Order. The regular order is not sufficient in the face of fascism. Right. Oh, here it is, the Jason Bateman. He is so cute and also smart and so funny and a great actor.
You should listen to Smartless.
I have not listened to his podcast, but I love him as an actor.
It's a great podcast.
Him and Will Arnett. I love Will Arnett.
Oh. But here, anyway, Sandra makes a great point. She says, Jason Bateman is right. It's time to start calling out his voters, not him. Trump voters just increased the deficit by $5 trillion. Trump voters just deported a kid with cancer. Trump voters just approved kicking 13 million people off health insurance. Trump voters are excited about selling off our public lands. They don't get to hide behind their votes. They knew what they were voting for, and they are responsible for the consequences. I think that's just a smart point, politically. All right, let's go. Oh, it's Kevin in D.C. Kevin! Hi, Kevin.
Good morning, lovely Stephanie and everybody.
Yeah, hello.
And because of the situation out there, and my family's not celebrating on the 4th, we're actually doing on the 5th and calling it celebration because there's very little 4th of July stuff going on. However,
you know what your family could do for you in America? Get you a better phone to call into the Stephanie Miller Show. I had one patriotic wish.
Yeah. Because right now you kind of sound like Tom Homan.
Yes. It's not your enunciation, though. It's your phone.
Right.
Okay, I keep trying to tell all the stories I can from L.A., Chris and Bella, because we're here, and we're witnesses to all this. This one, King of Comics, said Alvera Street, a very historic part of downtown. Also, Los Angeles is a ghost town right now, thanks to Trump and the ICE raids. They aren't just trying to deport hardworking people. They're trying to destroy the local and state economy.
They are.
I love Alvera Street. Did I ever tell you the story? We shot a bit there for my disastrous late night TV show.
The one that lasted 12 weeks out of a 13-week run?
This bit was funny, though. It was a bit where I was on every channel. We shot a thing. I was on the fishing channel.
Okay.
But then I was also on Spanish language.
Univision or whatever?
Yes. Telling them I was I was on every single channel. And so we shot it at Alvera Street, and I was dressed in a, I don't know, with a sombrero or something probably vaguely racist. And
what do you mean vaguely?
Yeah, and I was singing in Spanish with a guitar. And so we shot that at Alvera Street. And I just remember the Disney executives say they were standing there with all the people, and they were like, she's terrible. She can't sing, and she can't even speak Spanish. So I was trying to sing in Spanish badly.
Right, but that was comedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching Ugly Betty, and it's amazing how many times they use the word tranny or he, she, or whatever for the transsexual character. Like, it's, stuff's changed.
I'm rewatching Sex and the City again because Jack has never seen it all the way through. So I'm like, you're going to sit down and you're going to learn. So we're sitting down and watching it, and the amount of jokes and crazy statements that these women are making, like the whole bisexual episode.
Right.
It's great.
They were okay back then.
Yeah, like
almost every bit we did in the 90s on KBC would get us fired.
Oh
today.
God. Yeah, I mean,
what? Whoa!
She has them all now.
No. No, Ugly Betty is actually a very progressive show. It's actually really good, but it just the terminology and stuff that was okay.
There's a transsexual character, a major character.
Right. No, and it's actually a really good storyline about it, but it's just you kind of your 2025 sphincter snapshot. You're like, tranny, he, she jokes, and on
Olvera Street, I hope you went to the place where the taquito was invented.
Oh,
yeah.
I used
I gotta go back.
Go there all the time as a kid. I used to go with my grandma, and it's really sad that this is happening.
It's a wonderful place.
And I was thinking about this yesterday because I was in an Albertsons randomly, and like there was this man behind me who was speaking on the phone in Spanish, and I didn't even clock it, but I just thought, I was like, I would feel so much safer in Los Angeles in a room full of Latino men than a room full of white men.
Yeah. Thank
Just
you.
Putting that out
that's
there.
statistically smart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
By the way, have you ever deliberately been in an Albertsons or only randomly? Just
I was just randomly. I don't
go
usually
if it's the
shop
only
there.
place around.
I don't usually shop there.
If I'm in a food desert and it was the only supermarket, that's where I would go.
Yeah, and Mondami isn't your mayor. Okay. All these stories, I just feel the need to share. Vesh says, today at 7 a.m., my neighbor drove north in Ventura County. She and her husband saw the beautiful fields full of busy workers. When they drove home around 1:30, they witnessed those same workers being handcuffed and dragged away. Her husband was physically ill, and she cried the whole 3 hours home. I do not recognize this country. I mean, it's not just, by the way, like horribly immoral and dumb. Economically, this one, somebody threaded deer entire rest of America. You might want to set aside a lot more money for fresh produce in the near future. Here in California, farm fields are presently bursting with crops that are going unpicked and will rot within days. Thank the ramped up ice raids here in Ventura and across the state, which has resulted in a near 80% drop off in worker attendance. No pickers, no produce, and you thought eggs were expensive. Wait for it. That and that they upped the ICE budget to more than most militaries, $40 billion in this budget, is just this last one I saved, LA Times. It's just LA under siege. I'm running out of words to say. We're under attack. We're masked. This is from the LA Times. Masked unidentified agents have been systematically cornering brown-skinned people in a show of force across Southern California, tackling those who attempt to leave, arresting them without probable cause, and placing them in dungeon-like conditions without access to lawyers, according to a new federal lawsuit. We'll talk to Mayor Bass next week about the lawsuit. It describes the region as under siege, carrying out indiscriminate immigration raids, flooding street corners, bus stops, parking lots, agricultural sites, day labor corners. It seeks to block the Trump administration's ongoing pattern and practice of flouting the Constitution and federal law during immigration raids in the LA area. These guys are popping up rampant all over the city, just taking people randomly, and we want that particular practice to end, said the ACLU, who's part of this suit. What's happening here is flagrantly illegal. That's what I just asked Glenn Kirshner yesterday, right? I'm like, what the, I don't, and I'm like, can local police arrest them? Like, what can we do? We can't just stand by, right, and watch this madness.
I don't know.
Mel in Maryland. Hey, Mel.
Hey, good morning, Stephanie. How are you today?
What could be better?
Now, I just wanted to briefly, there's a lot of references going around about alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's really a misnomer to name it that, because the people who were imprisoned at Alcatraz, they were violent criminals found guilty in a court of law. They had their due process. Yeah. They were arrested, charged. The men, women, and children who Trump is picking up and throwing into this god-awful facility in Florida, they haven't had due process. They're American citizens.
Yep.
They don't have criminal records. And here's the worst part: where this thing is sitting, it's in a deadly hurricane zone. When a hurricane,
which is the point?
But when a hurricane hits, these people, men, women, and children, they're going to die. They're going to drown in these cages. This is the most inhumane thing imaginable, and it makes you wonder is this what our country has become? America is better
Yes.
than this, or
Yes.
at least it used to be.
Exactly
it used
right.
To be.
That's
and
what. I gotta say,
really, Stephanie, if you see it,
I gotta say, this is this thread I was about to read. Y'all got to stop asking what the plan is when a hurricane hits Alligator Auschwitz. The plan is they all die. That's the whole plan. Yeah. The cruelty is the point. And but I gotta say, Mel, thank you for your humanity. That's all we can do is keep our, but you know what I mean, like keep our own humanity.
Yeah.
This July 4th, celebrate the America you love and the America that we're determined to bring back. I don't know what else to say.
And don't blow off your fingers.
Right. I mean, thank you, thank you to the Mels in Maryland who just called, and all of our callers and listeners. Stephen Beschloss said we can't look away, even though we want to. We have to recognize they'll continue to escalate the cruelty, the madness, and the lawlessness as long as they get away with it. It's up to us to speak out, to push back, to refuse to let this hateful regime win. Hear, hear. God bless the United States. And happy 4th of July, everybody. Yeah. Okay. 40.
Yeah. Keep your fingers on your hands.
Yes, please. Keep all your digits.
Yes.
45 minutes after the hour, this portion.
Hi. It's a short wait.
You know what? He's just excited
He's
because
happy.
Trump cologne is available now.
Yes.
And
I am bathed in it.
it smells like poopy diapers and fascism. Enjoy. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And the griff goes on.
Of course it does.
Amazing.
It's so.
He's going to revive Trump's steaks, too, I'll bet you.
Oh, God.
Oh, didn't he have vodka too?
He had vodka.
Yeah.
He had water.
Same place that sells Trump Bibles and Trump sneakers.
Yes.
And he's going to deport Elon Musk. So listen, it's not all bad. It's not all bad news this morning.
Well, Ma'am Danny too, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. Okay.
Can we deport Elon's mom, too?
Do we have our Big Bag of Rats song? Ooh, we're starting out with it between the fight over the big ugly bill and also him threatening to deport Elon Musk because Elon Musk. Rats, yeah. Yeah.
That's Bag of Cats, what we're doing there.
No, that was a bag of cats.
No, it depends. So Musk is threatening to primary any Republicans that vote for it.
Which
fight,
is
fight,
pretty
fight.
much all of them except for 3.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Don't you feel like this is like the Flintstones background?
It is.
We watch the same thing every time. Rand Paul votes no.
Yes.
One Republican finds a spine but has to quit the party,
Right.
Tom Tillis.
And Murkowski's
then
gonna cave.
It's Murkowski and Susan Collins watch. How concerned are they? I asked Rocky Mountain Mike for a Susan Collins outrage
Meter.
concern meter to go with our Mitt Romney outrage meter,
Okay.
just to gauge. I don't know whether you can. Maybe it's like the line in her forehead where you can gauge her exact level of concern before she caves and votes for it. She's concerned about Medicaid cuts.
She's definitely going to vote for it.
Yeah.
I think Murkowski's going to cave too, and we're going to.
Well, because she's making backroom deals, which in any normal world, Jody, you've heard of this. The Senate parliamentarian would say no.
Right.
It triggers the Byrd rule. You can't use reconciliation now, but. Like we were saying, Republicans don't play by any set of rules.
not at
They're
all.
just going to go, we'll just fire her. Or it's the same story. And by the way, can I just say, nobody calls Trump. This bill's very popular.
No, it's not.
First of all, there's no reason there's a July 4th deadline. It's because of him, because they need to rush it through.
Right.
Because the more people know about it, the less popular it gets. And it's already, this is Harry Enton, CNN.
You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know that these are horrible, horrible, horrible numbers. Washington Post, minus 19 points. Pew Research Center, minus 20 points. Fox News, minus 21 points. Holy Toledo, you just never see numbers
Holy
this
Toledo,
poor. To
I
quote
love
Sir
that
Charles
part.
Barkley, terrible, terrible, terrible. It is one of the most unpopular pieces of legislation that I have ever seen.
I want to snuggle with Harry Enton.
Holy
love him so
Toledo.
much.
Shout out to Ohio this morning, because Holy Toledo is not used nearly enough.
It is not.
In
It's
our
old
opinion.
timey. He's
Right?
swell.
Yes, he is.
Where's Mike Crecky? Where's our art in
Mike
Chicago?
Crecky?
He
I think-
actually used the word Mike
I
Crecky.
don't think he's with us anymore.
Yeah, he was old when
Kind
we
of like
started.
what's
Art
20
in
years
Hollywood,
ago.
he's gone.
what's her name?
Road Flare Mary.
Road Flare Mary.
Oh
yes.
yeah, I doubt she's with
Yeah.
us anymore.
Yeah. Well, because she smokes road flares, or she did.
She did.
It appeared.
And then there was the COVID that
But
most
who will-
likely.
Oh, yeah, because she was an anti-vaxxer. Yes, who can forget the Road Flare Mary? What was your favorite day? Mine was Show Me a Poor Jew.
I think we might have Road Flare Mary in there.
The other one was the blacks are taking all the food stamps from my son and filling up their Escalades with the groceries. The blacks.
That's so Reagan. That's such a Reagan thing.
Show me a poor Jew.
Yeah, Show Me a Poor Jew was a classic day.
I miss Mary. Mary, if you're still with us, call in.
Yeah, she's delightful. She's nice.
Well, we know she has a son, so
Hey,
yes,
Mary's son. Come on.
Yes,
So you have the
can't-
same lovely voice.
Yeah.
By the way, they're still using the same rhetoric. Who is it? Senator Football McDump? That guy called them,
Tuberville?
No, he called them, inner city rats. That, are socialists and want blah, blah, blah. It's just, oh my God. This is... pick your reference from the Holocaust, right? When you start calling people rats and subhuman and they're, living off the government and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what? Yes. Chris, who said? Oh, please.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
If you had just a little confidence in the little fella, he might pull one of these off.
Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
I got it.
Well, you keep twisting your headphone cord up and makes it shorter.
Give purple nurple. Okay. Christopher.
Yes.
Who said we are waiting any moment now to get the jobs number for the month of June? The expectations call for numbers to be up 110,000. Right now, seeing the number actually showing a decline in jobs down to 33,000. Who said that?
Flounder the fish from Little Mermaid.
No, that was a good guess.
Okay.
Flounder-eyed Marita Bartiromo,
Oh, okay.
who does not like getting bad news
No.
about Donald Trump live on the air.
Why are you talking like Barbara Walters?
I don't know. Hi, I'm Maria Bartiromo. Yes, in case you had not heard, pardon me. 33,000 jobs lost in June. They were expecting to gain 110. Biden's administration had no monthly job losses. For those, keeping track, if you like to math the math there at home, the U.S. economy added jobs 48 consecutive months under Biden, even during COVID. Tell me again how Trump is so great for the U.S. economy, please. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. That was a Kelly. Okay. And this just in. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell made it clear the Fed would have lowered rates again this year if not for Trump's insane tariffs. Has Baby been triggered yet? Has he gone on his deporting Jerome Powell rant yet this morning?
I haven't seen one yet. I'll check.
Okay. All right. Senator Warren, thank you on this unbelievable latest bending of the knee with Paramount settling. She said this looks like bribery in plain sight. It absolutely is. It's absolute plain bribery, blackmail, whatever you want to call it. Paramount folded at the same time it needs Trump approval for a $1 billion merger. I'm calling for an investigation into whether anti-bribery laws were broken, and I'm working on a new bill to rein in this kind of corruption. And I think it was Senator Merkley said that he would be for prosecuting. For that is such an obvious bribery, quid pro quo, whatever you want to call it. There's that thing again. Quid pro quo.
I'm surprised you're able to pronounce that.
I know, I am too. I think it's because I just did my Maria Bartiromo.
Okay.
Quid
Good.
pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
Wow. Okay. Here's the one I was remembering. Personality of Cult said, Trump supporters, please understand, I am also sad for what's about to happen to you and your children, even if you don't care about me and mine. That's the difference between us. Hakeem Jeff, never mind. It's too sad. It's too far past now that we only need 4 Republicans with a soul. We didn't get them because there aren't that many. Give me Jamie Raskin on the House floor. And see.
They're talking about throwing 17 million Americans off of their health insurance. It's $1 trillion cut in Medicaid, Meantime, he's telling them that they shouldn't be touching Medicaid. So I pointed that out. Apparently, it came to his attention, and he just launched into one of his inimitable diatribes. I suppose I don't mind being called a loser several times by Donald Trump, given that he's our only president who has lost the popular vote for president in 2 different elections.
Okay, what Chris has just handed me is possibly the saddest document ever in
I
America.
had to hand that to you.
Trump won over big, beautiful bill holdouts by giving them signed merch. Wow, that's what it takes to sell out America and all your constituents now.
Yes, a signed hat.
And he doesn't even know what's in the bill, as Jamie Raskin just said. Right. He met with congressional Republicans yesterday, and he said he told Republicans at the meeting there's 3 things Congress shouldn't touch if they want to win elections: Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. But we're touching Medicaid in this bill, one member responded. Oh, my God. He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything.
But here's a hat.
But here is some Trump cologne, which smells like Russian hooker pee, poopy diapers, and fascism. Enjoy. Okay, here's today's story. Man who rescued a 9-year-old girl from a shark attack is now sitting in an ICE detention center awaiting deportation. No criminal record at all. Do you think Trump might pardon him since he hates sharks? Which does he hate more, sharks or immigrants? Hard to say. Thomas says, hearing Trump say he intends to detain and deport even American citizens born here years ago, who he personally regards as bad, should chill everyone to the bone. Yeah, said the rapist, 34-count felon traitor. Says he's going to decide who's bad. Mm-hmm. Okay. And one last one. Ellie says, this is the tipping point. This is the test. Alligator Alcatraz is selling merchandise. Miami canceled their elections. The largest legal transfer of wealth passed. Gaza genocide flaunted mercilessly. Election drop-offs proved statistically impossible. The chaos is intentional. The overwhelm is the weapon. We're supposed to feel helpless and scared and divided. We have time, but not much of it. It is time. This July 4th, let's rededicate ourselves to getting back the America we love. Nancy Pelosi on the House floor yesterday.
This big, beautiful bill, well, if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, then you, GOP, you have a very blurred vision of what America is about. Is it beautiful to cut off food from seniors and children? Is it beautiful to cut off 17 million people from health care? Is it beautiful to do this, to give tax cuts to billionaires in our country?
Yeah. And Representative Sydney, I don't know, Kamlager? I don't know if I'm saying that right. She's from out here in California. Kamlager Dove. Yeah, here we go.
We have a president that is more committed to selling fragrances than he is to telling the truth. And they are negotiating with this person about bending the knee to him rather than bending the knee to the constituents.
Yep. Laura in Sacramento. Hey, Laura.
Good morning. I am the proud daughter of a B-17 pilot that flew out of Debich, England on all his missions and flew over and bombed Nazi Germany.
Wow.
He has passed away a few years ago, but he would be devastated by what's going on. I am a proud American, but I'm very, very disappointed. And one of the things that you have run on your show, and I watch you every day, he can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
But he does.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's so disappointing. Thank you for everything. I love you to pieces.
I love you.
And I'll keep watching you.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Oh, don't cry, please. We all got each other. Yep. That's what this is all about.
Group hug.
So yeah, big group hug. Seth in LA. Hey, Seth.
Oh my God.
Hi.
Hold on, I was with the dogs. First of all, Chris, when do I get to start cursing on air?
No.
You don't get to start cursing on air.
No.
Okay.
Please
No
don't
matter
send us to
what,
the
they're
FCC
making
gulag, please.
We've already been there.
They're making it so tough. So the thing about MAGA is they all want their own Kim Jong-un.
Yes,
but
they do. We are full on North Korea. Frangela. Yeah. Next.
Stephanie Miller Show.
Every single House Democrat will vote hell no against this one big, ugly bill. And all we need are 4 House Republicans to join us in defense of their constituents who will suffer mightily from this bill.
And were there, Chris? Were there? Spoiler alert. Were there 4 Republicans with a soul?
Not a one.
No, there was not. No, that's correct. That's actually correct. Hey, so it seems like we can't have nice things anymore, but guess what? We can.
What?
Ah, thank God!
They're back!
Oh my God. Look at me like some psychotic Alice from the Brady Bunch trying to crawl right into your boxes. That's how much I miss you. Trying to crawl into your box with you. Just,
we missed you.
You know,
everybody.
people say they depend on me for their mental health. I depend on you. So you have to understand your role in America. I cannot go 2 weeks without talking.
It was hard. It was challenging.
It was challenging. Wow.
It's a lot.
And a lot happened, and every time something happened, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's even for this era. And you guys, thank you for sending me the, Joy Reeds and the Letitia James and, all the people that, and Joy's going to join us on Monday, but just people that are like just inspiring us and making us feel like we're not taking crazy pills. This really is as bad as we think it is, right?
It's worse than my worst thoughts about what it could be.
Yeah.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very, very concerned about so many people because there's going to be a real reality, and that's humans. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a human cost to this. And I don't think we're thinking about that hard enough, because to me, when you tell me 18 million people are going to be kicked off, potentially.
Yeah.
And everyone affected.
Everybody we know will be affected, and we should be in the streets today.
Well, and that's the thread I read earlier. That's exactly the difference between us and our parties is that, someone said, hey, Trump voters, I care about you and your family, what's going to happen to you and your family, even though you didn't care about me and my family. That's the difference between us is we can go, oh, this is going to be great for us politically. But that's not our genetic makeup as liberals. We actually do care how many people are going to die and suffer.
We understand our interdependence. The idea that you can somehow insulate your community, even if it is Alaska, from from these policies with a few backdoor deals is not. It's not just naive. It's really not showing up for your constituents under the guise of showing up for them. Hiding your cowardice behind, well, I got things for my state. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're so sick of this, Chris and I saying this skit, that happens every time with Mikowski and Collins and how cynical they are and how they make noise in the House that they're going to hold out and then they all bend the knee to Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
These people,
That ain't gonna happen.
You know, it's and also everybody's a little late to the fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like the punditry too. Like this is really bad. It was bad in 2016. Like this, you know, like this is the cementing of that.
A lot of, it's interesting. We're talking to Joy, who's obviously joined us for Sexy Liberal, but, people saying like she is even more on fire now that she's freed from sort of the corporate shackles. Because, I mean, corporate media absolutely has failed us. And it's one of the things I will die mad about is Joy Reid. Because I was saying to you guys, she is just working at a level that nobody else is working at, in my opinion. She is such a depth and breadth of knowledge and history and is just so smart. And I think it's you realize how critical those voices are now. And so you got to go. I mean, you sent me a talk with her and Malcolm Nance on Substack. I mean, that's where people are going now, right?
Yep. Yep. And she really did. It takes a lot to kind of shut Malcolm X, look at me, Malcolm Nance down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he, and she really did school him on what Black participation or not lack of Black participation in the protests is about.
Yeah.
And I thought she put it really well. And the way I would put it is, why is it? Don't keep looking up. We can't be the problem and the solution every time. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Well, Chris, who was it this week that said, rude pundit, somebody just talking about, I'm not afraid I'm going to get snatched up. And I said, bingo, that's your white privilege.
Right.
I'm not afraid ICE is going to pick me up. So use your white privilege to put your white ass out there, to shield other people. I was trying to explain to people around the country, for Angela, the degree of fear that, and the degree of ghost town we are here in Los Angeles and a lot of places. And, Francis, I know you've talked about this, seeing it in your own neighborhood.
Downstairs from me, outside my window, we had an ICE raid.
Yeah.
A week ago, and there were 15 white vans just throwing men, day workers, into those vans, just cuffing them. They weren't asking them any questions. They weren't saying anything. But what I saw was just regular people just putting their cars in the way.
Yeah.
They were blocking traffic.
Blocking
and people
ICE,
were screaming. I mean, it was just watching people run.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah. I mean, we've been
they've been throwing the flower vendors.
Yes.
The people who
And
sell
here in
flowers
Griffith
outside
Park.
of cemeteries.
Yeah. Here in Griffith Park, yeah. I mean, it's. We talked about Alvera Street. I mean, people are saying this is worse than COVID. I mean, all our crops are rotting in the fields. The price of produce is going to go through the roof, right? All you egg voters out there. I mean,
it's just a lie, and I said this. We've said this the whole time. Nobody was voting because of prices. This is a vote on privilege and identity. This is not a vote on they because clearly they don't care about prices.
They're taking away Haitian citizenship because it's not about. It's about brown people. It's not about they're legal.
It's never been about anything else.
Yeah. Go ahead, Francis.
Can I just say? Am I? There we go.
Those are your preach hands. When your preach hands go up like this, I know it's. Yeah. Go ahead.
This country has never come to terms with slavery. And that it needs low cost to no cost people to work here in this country. And there is a wide swath, I think, of Republicans who do not understand that. They do not understand how America works. And it's on brown people.
I mean, more than that, I saved actually a couple different tweets for you guys, but Heather says, Trump and the GOP's dream is to have a system to sign up immigrants for work, a new type of temporary pass that gives farmers ownership of immigrants and makes immigrants pay to be the owner's responsibility, makes immigrants freedom and path to citizenship non-existence. Slavery. The GOP dream is to return to slavery. I mean, we're
100%.
sitting here in concentration camps, and that's slavery they're describing.
Yep.
Yes.
It's exactly what it is. You want to stay here in any kind of way, then you got to work for me under whatever conditions I say. And you can't. You got to do what I say. Wait, they're gonna stop paying them. They're gonna put them in called company script. And like it's the goal is always the same. This system cannot function without having poor people. It cannot function with having people who are below poverty. And so the way that what they're trying to do is make sure that those people are they're as far from it as they can possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you keep the poor white people from going crazy is you promise them that their whiteness will protect them from being that.
Yep.
And it's like every awful thing from our past. I was having flashbacks about Hurricane Katrina when we were talking about this, alligator Auschwitz, that it couldn't withstand 1.5 inches of rain yesterday. There's water. I mean, but I said, like, that's the point, is that when there's a hurricane, they'll go, oh well, I mean, it's a concentration camp for brown people. That's what it is.
Wait till they put it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
It'll be a Christy Nome special about how they're keeping America safe.
They're already selling merch from the White House. You saw the thing with Trump and the alligators with ice hats on, and they think it's, funny.
They think it's funny.
I mean,
they think it's really funny.
The Republican Party in Florida is selling, alligator Auschwitz merch because
it's. I just can't that people. I need some I'm sorry's, you were right from the people who were like, you're over, but come on now, you guys. Trump's not gonna be he's not a Nazi. I need people to recognize that they didn't recognize the truth.
I keep saying all morning, you don't have to be the daughter of a Nuremberg prosecutor to go. All of these places in Germany, Dachau, that I visited in college, they started as migrant detention centers.
Yes, work camps. It's just places for people to work and be a part of the war effort. Like it's, and all we're doing is asking that people have identification on them, and we know where they are. That's all why is that bad?
Yeah.
And why do you care if somebody who's already in death row, who's a prisoner, gets executed by mistake? Why would you care?
Yeah, but they're not even. What percentage? What huge percentage of them have committed no crimes? They're not even
talking about flower vendors and makeup artists.
Yeah. Yes. Not only have they not had due process, that's why I keep saying stop calling it a prison. People in any prison have had due process.
Something
at least.
has happened. They've been in front of some kind of court.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I don't. Let me just randomly choose another awful story, just because why not? Because we're talking about complete lawlessness.
Stick it in a bag and pull it out.
Former FBI agent accused of egging on rioters to attack police during the January 6th riot at the Capitol is now serving in the Justice Department as part of the so-called weaponization working group. He was on trial when he was pardoned as one of Trump's pardons. I said, can we put this to rest? They're the pro-police party. I mean, there's another guy we talked about earlier that had a kill list, like the guy in Minnesota did, of everybody that worked on his January 6th case. These are all the people that were pardoned, right? But immigrants are the criminals, right?
Mm-hmm. People are going to have to find out the hard way. That's clearly, America's hard-headed. That's clearly what's going to have to happen.
Yeah. And what does a hard head make, Angela? What does a hard head make for? A soft behind.
That's right. Oh, that must be new.
Yeah.
We remain not
that's
Boo Boo the Fool,
timey.
right?
It's real old. It's real old. And wrong, actually, as a parenting thing. It's actually illegal and wrong.
Okay. All right.
But it's cute. Sort of.
All right.
It rhymes-ish.
We will add it to our list of things. Like, for instance, you cannot wax a pony.
Twice.
No, you can't. Not twice.
No, you cannot.
No.
You might get away with it once. You might.
Okay. All right. You know what? If you throw rice at me,
you're gonna catch and cook it.
Yes, I am.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. What's the thing again? I have something hard head. What?
A hard head makes for a soft bottom.
Okay, that makes absolutely no sense of any kind. Let me write that down. 19 minutes.
Look, it's better than than.
I know. Here's where I understand MAGA, because I'm in a frangela cult. I just love everything they say. I do anything they tell me to.
Even if it doesn't make
sense. It makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Okay, 19 minutes up. Hi, Charlie Pierce, as played by John Leguizamo. Hi.
I was going to say, I do not have to follow Leguizamo, and I am very happy about that.
We are going to have to reschedule. He was on a tour and hit our hard break and this and that and whatever. Chris is now breathing into a paper bag.
Yes.
But we're back to normal. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, all. Good morning, Jody Hamilton.
Good morning, Charlie Pierce.
And I would like to know that, I'd like America to know that I am doing the coveted double Jody today.
Yes, he is.
My. Double whoring. Okay.
Nothing subtle about that whoring.
Will rattle.
Charlie,
Hey.
I was saying to Chris yesterday, it didn't seem possible the Senate could make this bill worse, right? And yet they did. I mean, your Senator Professor Warren said it's actually 20 million people lose their health care. It actually adds more to the deficit than the House bill. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Your thoughts.
No, I don't know what to say. I think, obviously she's right. The math doesn't add up, but the math never adds up when these clowns put a budget together.
Yeah.
The amazing thing to me, and this is something that was mentioned, I think you ran that Harry Enton soundbite, where Harry Enton was like having polstergasm all on TV.
Yes.
Because
holy Toledo!
This is an incredibly unpopular piece of legislation.
Yeah.
And the more people know about it, and they know a lot about it now, the less popular it gets.
Well, Senator Warnock said folks need to understand the reality of what's happening in Congress right now. Washington Republicans are trying to force through the largest cut to health care in the history of the United States. We have, give me 10, Senator John Ossoff, his fellow senator.
If we allow Affordable Care Act benefits to expire, as this bill would, more than 1 million Georgians will pay more for health insurance next year. A family of 4 in Clayton County making $65,000 a year, that's a $2,600 increase. The AJC, our paper, reports 300,000 Georgians would lose insurance altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually that was the amendment offered by Senator Batboy, Rick Scott.
If we allow,
and it was so odious that it got killed without a vote.
Yeah.
Republicans said, first of all, you're out of your mind. Second of all, you're Rick Scott, and your name should never be in the same sentence with Medicare or Medicaid ever again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also, Charlie, we were saying it's like watching the Flintstones background. It's always the same. You got, one senator that finds a spine and has to leave the party, Thom Tillis, Rand Paul, and then we have to gauge the relative concern of Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski before they cave, right?
Yeah, apparently it was like an all-night negotiation with Murkowski.
Yeah.
And she still may not be satisfied.
Yeah. I think she's going to end up voting for it.
I think she is too, and I think Collins is too.
Yeah, but
although Collins did express deep concerns over
when doesn't she?
Yeah, she's always
something
concerned.
or another. Her brow is so furrowed it holds a 3-day rain at this point.
Charlie, let's talk to the other horrors. The Supreme Court. You just wrote the Supreme Court has paved the way for Trump to end birthright citizenship for good. You talk about your story a little bit. You talk about your grandparents came here from, obviously Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, my grandparents came here obviously for to improve their own lives, but also full in the knowledge that their children would be American.
That's right.
I mean, it's not like birthright citizenship doesn't get around. People know it, And my grandparents came here. My grandfather from Kilflynn and my grandmother from Lichtenau, outside in the Greater Listowel metropolitan area in North Kerry, in part to improve their own lives, which they did, and in part to have children who would be American.
You said one went to war.
I don't understand why that is suddenly, considered beyond the pale of our national existence.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you said one went to war, came home, began a 35-year career in public education, fathered one child who sat in an armchair Friday morning and learned that something very important about this country had died. That you are the armchair person in this story.
I am. Not this armchair, though. The armchair over there that has the terrible solar glare during my my time with you every week, Stephanie. So.
But you say the court's decision appeared to upend the ability of a single federal judges to freeze policies across the country, a powerful tool that has been used to block policies from Democratic and Republican administrations.
Friday night, I woke alone to get the feeling right. We started making out, and she took off my pants, but then I turned on the TV.
Stephanie Miller.
And that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody lets you when you're 23. And I saw more of these TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say
What? Yeah, it is. Not Friday, it's Thursday with Frangela, because happy July 4th.
Right.
Hey, just in time for July 4th, Frangela, Gallup poll shows pride in being an American has slipped to a record low. Isn't that surprising? Not. Oh,
Not
only
at all.
Only 4 in 10 of Gen Z, that's you over there,
hey.
little lady,
Yeah.
expressed a high level of pride of being an American. It just... I mean, you know what I said, Frangela? It is so depressing going into July 4th in a way, but I think we
So
just have
depressing.
we have to celebrate the America we love and that we can have to bring back. We have to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the only ones that can do
gonna
it. No
take
one, like we were saying, unlike, Germany 1930s, no one's coming to rescue us.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
It's going to take a lot of work to bring the America we love back.
Yeah.
We got to get to work as soon as we can.
I mean, what kills me is the America that we were still fighting to change.
Right.
It's like, really?
We
Yeah, all that work.
We were
You know
getting
what it
closer
is?
to a perfect union, and now we're like, we're going the wrong way.
Exactly. It's like losing an entire Word document.
Yeah.
You're like, now I got to go back and retype everything.
I forgot to save.
I was gonna make changes to begin with.
America
not like
forgot.
this.
America forgot to hit save, and now we have to reboot the entire thing.
This is what I'm saying.
Computer off. Yeah, Trump said, "I made the USA the hottest country in the world." I think that's only true if he's talking about climate change,
Right.
but otherwise, it's just everything they say at this point is a lie. He's just jobs are pouring into the U.S. No, we just had this horrible jobs report.
Horrific.
I mean,
But you know what? This is where you were saying it earlier, Stephanie, where I get mad again at the media because it has taken them this long to say these things are lies. It has taken them this, had they been doing this, had they been doing actual reporting in his first Reich, we might not be here.
Yeah. We were playing. Oh, this real quick. Representative Josh Riley on the floor, real quick.
This bill will kill good blue-collar manufacturing jobs that we need to rebuild the economy in this country. It closes rural hospitals. It defunds health care, all to give trillions of dollars in tax cuts to your cronies. Don't tell me you give a shit about the middle class when all you're doing is shitting on the middle class.
Oh.
And of course, there is the clutching of pearls. Representative Steve Womack, Republican of Arkansas, reprimanded Riley and it reminded him to avoid vulgar speak. We do have families.
Oh, please.
Oh, my God. Really? The
yeah.
families you're ripping Medicaid away from and health care, and oh, my God. Right?
No,
I'm trying to kill your family, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't need them. I don't need my delicate ears assaulted.
No.
Yeah, we have
no,
families.
no. With an assaulter, felon at the helm, you can't tell me about family values. Never again.
No.
Yeah. I mean, the disingenuous clutching of the pearls just gets me every time, right? Thank
Trump
you.
will say it tomorrow, and they'll be like, "It's brilliant. There hasn't been oratory like this since the Federalist
He just
Papers."
called Joe Biden the son of a bitch outside, alligator Auschwitz. But there's, but that's all fun. Oh, it's just I can't. All right, 29 minutes after the hour. I need more Frangela.
Yes.
On the Stephanie Miller Show.
This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Fire! Frangela sent that to me because America's early warning system.
Black ladies.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, Frangela. Thank you for sending that.
That's right. We love her. Love Letitia.
We're all like holding each other up at this point, aren't we? I mean, I'm not kidding when I tell you my mental health hinges on you being here because there are only so many.
That's a dangerous. Yeah, really.
But we all like you guys always say that when you get tired, you take a rest until you can come back into the fight, find your joy. Don't let them take your joy, whatever that is.
Don't let them take your joy because that actually it hurts them. So if you just, even from a petty point of view, your joy is a weapon.
Right. Yes. And I want to encourage everyone to take exquisite care. Of them, exquisite care of yourself.
You don't have to put up with nothing.
That's right. Take exquisite care of yourself.
I don't know if I told you guys the story. I post pictures almost every week with my bike club, my Major Taylor bike club, who's largely an African-American cycling club. And it's what feeds my soul. It just gives me so much joy. I love cycling, but I love the people in particular, and that they do so much great work in the world. We do house builds, we do, helping inner city kids get into cycling and et cetera. And we just had our big international conference here. And I posted pictures during the weekend of the, unrest here. And I was talking about some maggot, I think it was on Twitter, that said, "Oh, didn't I see some of those people burning cards this weekend in L.A.?" And I said to Chris, I'm like, it almost like it took me a second, and I was like, "Oh, you're a racist hole. Oh, you're implying because they're black that, But I thought, you know what? I'm not going to let them take my joy. You know what? Because we're not going to, like you say, you're not going to, those people that are laughing about Alligator Alcatraz are going to be here. Like, we can't let them take our soul and our humanity, right?
What they don't understand is they're going to be an Alligator Alcatraz. See, this is the thing that people don't seem to get. There's only one dear leader. Everybody else is expendable.
Yeah. By the way, I love Jim McGovern. Some guy, I don't know which Republican it was, Chris, gave some huge long, every speech now is like you're in North Korea about dear leader, and had some big poster about the big, beautiful bill. And McGovern, when he was recognized, he said, "Mr. Speaker, cult much?" And he said, "I know the gentleman's poster says it all. It's not about American families. It's about one big party for Trump. It's about swelling up his ego." I mean, that's what it is. It's a party of one guy.
That's right.
And I was saying, I was just going to say quickly, this is the most pathetic headline. Trump won over big, beautiful bill holdouts by giving them signed merch.
I can't.
That's what it takes to sell out America now.
I can't.
That is disgusting.
I can't.
This bill is crazy. And just go, Angela, because I lost my thought there. You go.
Sorry, I derailed you.
This is the thing. I think people, too, one of the things I wanted to make sure to talk about today and say is that I feel like people are, at least when I've seen the commentary on the news channels, are missing, I think, the larger point of the increase in the ICE budget in this bill.
Oh, my God.
I think what it's about is creating a Trump private army.
Yeah.
I don't think it's certainly it's not about securing the border, but I don't think that people are talking about, the pork of it, that, building the wall, all those contracts are going to go to his friends, and all this money is going to go to these private contractors who have paid him, or, his friends, his loyalists. But I think what it's really about is having a group of people who are heavily armed, who don't have to have ID, who don't have to have warrants, who just can bust in and pull anybody off the street. This is an SS. This is not... about, that is what I think people need to understand, is that they are taking people who are affirmed racists, people who, I guarantee you there's some January 6 people in this group, who are, and they are using them because they don't follow rules. They don't even know the rules they're not following. And every time we allow them to take someone without ID off the street, what they're doing, it's just making it easier for them to build this army.
It's the
joy, and to take us.
Yeah, it's the Joy Reid
and
clip.
The people that they don't like. Also, this was my point I remembered. The GOP, the Republicans, they don't exist anymore because they're going to add $5 trillion to our deficit. And I was told my entire life,
Your entire life.
my entire black life,
This is what
that these were the people who were fiscal hawks.
Yes,
they
right.
don't, they fiscal hawks. What happened to their hawkery?
Frangela.
What
Taking us to
happened?
church.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, I was going to say, and it goes to your point of the Joy Reid clip you sent me a couple of days ago. And Joy, again, will join us on Monday. But saying, what is it, Chris? She said exactly like following the rules, which Democrats tend to do, is insufficient in the face of fascism,
Right.
to your point. Yeah.
Right, stop.
Yeah.
This is your problem. I was talking to my mom, and the other day, she's a lawyer. She's a retired lawyer. And I was like, this is what's hard for us. I know crazy evil. Okay, and what I can tell you about crazy evil is they are not hampered or hemmed in any way fettered by things like logic, rationality, compassion, empathy, the law. These are not things that make their decision making that come into play at all.
Yeah.
Democrats do what Joy was saying in that clip, right? They go, well, I don't have the votes for this. I can't bring it to the floor. Republicans don't care.
This story about the merch, Chris. So Chip Roy, who is a Republican douchebag and also a putt-putt outside Amarillo.
Right.
Amarillo.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They pronounce the L's in that.
Right. He said yesterday, if we don't deliver on spending restraint, bond markets are going to crater, inflation will continue, interest rates will go up, houses will be less affordable. He called the bill a travesty. The Times says the son of Chip Roy walked away with some merch. So that was, for whatever principles those were, it's like, oh, really? A hat? Thanks.
Let me ask you, do you think that they asked for the merch or that Trump offered it?
Trump offered it. I believe that.
He did.
Yeah.
But yeah, what this administration is trying to do, they're going to print, they're going to get the quantitative easing, they're going to print more money, they're going to lead us into hyperinflation, and then they're going to privatize every ounce of our lives in digital currency.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want the business to have none of the risk and all of the reward.
That's right.
These headlines, I do not believe a good headline out there today. Major bank finds tariffs will cost U.S. employers $82 billion. They would face a direct cost of $82.3 billion from Trump's current tariff plans, a sum that could potentially be managed through price hikes, layoffs, hiring freezes, or lower profit margins. The analysis by the communists at J.P. Morgan Chase.
Sure. You know that.
Is among the first to measure the direct costs created by the import taxes on businesses. This one, hold please, U.S. auto sales lose steam. After tariff-induced shopping spree, U.S. auto sales are losing momentum after a springtime surge fueled by shoppers racing to buy cars before the auto tariffs drove up prices. Some automakers are now seeing consumers retreat. I mean, consumers are scared. I mean,
Yes.
it's just, I mean, the hits just keep on coming, right?
Yeah. I think the way that the companies plan on making up this loss for them is wages, because you can see what they're doing. They're going all these little protections that people fought for and died for, get ready to lose them all.
Yeah.
Forget about that. You don't have a right to workplace safety.
Administration is withholding more than $6 billion in federal grants for after-school summer programs, English language instruction, adult literacy, and more as a part of a review to ensure grants align with Trump's priorities. I mean, these are the people that go learn English. Well, they're going to take money away from that too, right?
Well, they don't need to.
Why you need to learn?
You won't be here to have. If you need to learn English, you shouldn't be here.
And the kind of jobs
That's the way they think.
Yeah, we have people who were born speaking English. English is their first language. Those people, you don't need to read anymore. In fact, reading is dangerous. It's something that liberal commies do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, and the administration is flouting the law by holding back money that Congress appropriated. We're way past them, abiding by any rules or any laws. Right?
I'm saying they had Teslas on the front lawn of the White House. These people are not afraid of laws.
Angela, I've been sputtering. I mean, we're going to have Mayor Bass on Wednesday. I've been sputtering about it. I know we fight back however we can. There's a federal lawsuit now that we filed in California, but I said the same thing. I'm like, how is this? How can you have a guy with no insignia jump out of an unmarked car and without a warrant and put their hands on anybody? I mean,
no probable cause, no anything.
Yeah.
No telling of anyone. No phone calls. No nothing.
The midterms can't get here fast enough. And I hope we could still vote by then.
Also, I just think we got to stop relying on elections, because the elections that we know are deeply flawed and problematic because they're suppressing the vote, and I have no doubt planning on just stealing it. There's no other way to justify doing policy that is so widely unpopular unless you're really not afraid.
Oh my God, this bill? I mean, what did Harry Enton say? He said,
Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo. These are the worst poll numbers I've seen for, and you know, across a bunch of different polls. The most unpopular bill he's ever seen, right?
Why can't they cut the FCC? Why can't they cut the you can't swear? That might...
There you go.
Could they cut the you can't swear?
It would be helpful.
So, yeah, in the fighting back stack, California led a coalition of states in filing a federal lawsuit against the Trump administration over its alleged sharing of Medicaid recipients' health data with immigration enforcement agencies. Once again, here's the small government, the privacy party, right? It's just they have thrown every principle.
They don't exist anymore.
They don't exist.
They're gone. And I think I need us all to stop trying to appeal to them being Republicans. These are people who are working and vying to please one person.
That's right. What do I always say? Do not recruit. Let's stop recruiting at Klan rallies. Let's really stop trying to recruit at Klan rallies.
That's my favorite thing you say.
Because it's stupid.
It's true. Yeah. No, I mean, this is the thing. Like I say, I guess we got to fight back however we can. It was Ron Wyden, I was saying, it was talking about Paramount being the latest, you know, if this is not flat out bribery, blackmail, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what is. He said Paramount just paid Trump a bribe for merger approval. When Democrats retake power, I will be first in line calling for federal charges. In the meantime, state prosecutors should make the corporate execs who sold out our democracy answer in court today. You've got the South Park creators, right? Trey and Matt took aim at Paramount after the merger. They said the merger is a show and it is picking up South Park because it's delaying, you know.
Right.
I mean... And again, we keep saying every time you give the bully your lunch money, he's going to come back again.
That's right.
It doesn't even protect you.
For more.
Absolutely, because when you give that first yes to the bully, he know he got you.
Right. Let me tell you something. They're gonna find out what happens when a lot of America just snaps. Okay, you ever watch that show Snap?
No.
On the Lifetime or whatever.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. They're about to make us all snap, and I know they're not ready for that.
No, but you know what? I believe, as you said, Angela, they're getting their forces in every city ready for that.
Yeah, I keep
These
saying
ICE
we're a test case here in LA.
That's right.
And
These ICE agents are Gestapo.
Yeah.
That is what they are.
Well,
they are secret police.
And this is why I'm of the all of the above in terms of fighting back, you know, camp. Gavin Newsom this week was suing Fox News for defamation over a trunk call and seeking $787 million in damages, which is what, you know, they had to pay the last time they lied about the election in 2020. But again, I know it seems like, oh, how can you fight back? Well, I'm glad he's fighting back because they just lie. They just lied about, you know, about this Trump phone call. And I know it's one lie in like a sea of lies, but I just
but they're all important. This
Right.
is, I mean, people get I annoy people, I know, with this. You can't let a false record stand.
Right.
You know, anywhere. And I know it may get tiring, but every time they lie, you need to be like, no, no.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was
pull the car over.
Yeah. Another depressing judicial headline. SCOTUS to hear challenge to campaign finance limits. I know that's what everyone thinks is, you know, what we really need is more money in politics. I think that.
Dark. I don't want to know what it's doing.
Yeah. And does anybody believe this Trump Elon fight?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody believes it.
Yeah.
Nobody believes it.
Q bag of rats. Hang on. I'm glad you brought this up. One Trump pollster is laughing off Elon Musk's threat to start a third party. He said, I think it's the ketamine talking in the middle of the night. Trump is the Republican Party right now. He's the conservative movement. There's not a hankering for a third party with Elon Musk. Elon Musk predicted Steve Bannon's going back to prison. Bannon told Musk to go back to South Africa. Then what? Okay. And then Trump said he's going to take a good hard look at deporting. I don't know.
I do like it.
Bannon responded by saying he hates Musk. Oh my God! They're so hard to pick a winner.
And the Daily Beast is reporting this morning that it was Trump who called the New York Times about Elon Musk's drug use.
Let me tell you something. And I hope somebody who has Donald Trump's ear will say this to him because I think it's important that he hear. Putin would not put up with this. If this was Putin's rich person, he would find himself in front of a very slippery window.
A window.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little polonium
I don't know
soup.
why Trump is putting up with this because his oligarchs aren't in line.
No.
I mean, and the part that is not funny, I think I mentioned this earlier this week, Frangela. A new study in the Lancet Medical Journal warns cuts to the USAID could result in 14 million deaths in the next 5 years, with children under 5 years of age making up a third of those. That's, Elon Musk's Doge cuts I mean, the fact that that says everything we need to know about all the food rotting that's already paid for around the world and crops rotting here in California in the fields. It's just emblematic of what they're doing to this country and this world.
They don't care. They don't care. Let me tell you something. These people are here to pump their bags of money. The man came out with a cologne.
Why gotta be so low rent? You know what I'm saying?
It's a smash and grab.
J-Lo circa 1995. Like, come on.
By the way, Nick Kristof said, especially, to see the toll of the inefficiency, the State Department has one estimate, the cost of shutting down USAID was $6 billion. Someone's saying they're saving money. They've spent $6 billion killing a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. All right, we pause. Bella's wrapping me, and children are the future. So 50 minutes after the hour, this portion. Back from jolly old England, I have to assume that you did not have baby J.D. Vance or J.D. Vance's on your phone. So that's why they let you back in?
No, yeah. I was actually a little disappointed that they didn't want to check my phone because I had the fisting porn all queued up.
All right. Okay. Enough about Josh Hawley. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah.
Please open my phone. Please.
You pulled the douchey. Don't you know who I am? I'm Rude Pundit. Really? You're going to let me back in?
It's in my name.
Yeah, I'm a white guy and a citizen.
Exactly. I know.
They all think I'm one of them.
I know. That's the thing. I was just thinking that yesterday. Is you joke, but that's what our white privilege is. Think about it.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about if we got to go get a weed whacker at Home Depot, whether we're going to end up in El Salvador. That's exactly why we need to use our white privilege to help others.
Or the guy in Florida recently who had helped rescue a 9-year-old girl who had been bitten by a shark in Florida, and dove into the water, chased the shark away.
Yeah.
And then he was stopped for his headlight not working, and is now going to be deported.
I mean, we try to do a story a day, Rude, but I mean, Purple Heart winners, people have been here for years and years and years. It's insane what's happening. I mean, around the country, but LA, we're ground zero, and it's all right. Anyway, let's talk about what's going on in your neck of the woods in New York. Where were you? You had some Mamdani thoughts here. Let's see. Hold, please.
Mostly it's just shut the F up.
Yeah,
Let
just
the
shut
guy
up.
run.
Yeah.
Support him.
Right.
Jeez.
Well,
what the hell?
Here's my thing. Like, I don't know everything he's ever said. I know he was till 2 days ago. Like, I don't live in New York. I don't get a vote. It's like, this is who New York voted for.
Right.
And I'm sure I won't agree with everything he's ever said, but it just, he seems to have a lot of popular ideas. He seems to be young and energetic, and he walked the whole island
And
of Manhattan.
hot.
He
Yes,
is.
that too. Yeah, I loved Anna. She said, if you're a Christian who honestly believes an 80-year-old fascist is more Christ-like than a 33-year-old brown guy fighting for children, immigrants, and the poor, maybe it's time for a quick visit with the only book you haven't banned. Which goes to your piece
somebody
this
tell
week.
me, what is he going to do? What exactly is he going to do about the war in Gaza?
Right.
What role does he have to play there? And also, he was supported by a lot of Jewish people.
Yeah.
And a lot of us think
and that
Netanyahu's
just seems to be erased from
and a
this
lot of us
as-
think Netanyahu's a war criminal. Like you said, that makes 70-something% of us anti-Semitic.
Oh yeah,
including
90%. 90% of the world would be considered anti-Semitic if it was, Netanyahu should be arrested for being a war criminal. You know, it's just stupid. I mean, it's It's like saying that I don't know, if you picked up some African dictator for war crimes and sent him to The Hague, that must mean you're racist. People don't say that.
Yeah. Yeah, Will Bunch said, you said AOC Crockett 2028, let's effing go. And Will Bunch said, like Mandami, she bringing a tsunami of young voters. I'd love to see it. I mean, I would love it too. But I think, even AOC, I think Charlie Pierce always talks about this, has been very politically savvy. She doesn't beat up on the Democratic Party. She works inside the party, but she is perfect for her district. So I don't know what this means nationally or whatever, but let New Yorkers vote.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you probably, people who have never been to New York City are sitting here commenting on, oh no, we can't let this Muslim guy become mayor of New York. And we're going to hold him up as some kind of representative of the Democratic Party. Or I love Trump and some others that are like, oh no, New York City is going to turn communist. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, to me, that's what resonated the most for me, is him standing up against fascism, to speaking out against the Trump administration, which I think we keep saying that it's between the fighters and the folders. I don't know, but I mean, look, Joe Walsh is a fighter. I'm glad he's in our party. I'm sure I wouldn't agree with him still on a lot of stuff, but
then you get just like the disappointing stuff that Hakeem Jeffries said yesterday, and Eric Swalwell, and all these people that are just
about anti-Semitism or.
Stephanie Miller.
Yeah. What do we say? We didn't survive the fires in LA to be taken down by ice. Yeah. Pat Benatar, psychic. All right. Good morning, Frangela. Hi. Hi. Speaking of Austin women that I want to date and kiss and marry, the queen of, is it the Netherlands that mocked Trump to his face?
Yeah.
About his stupid, flapping Garfield anus lips. So a MAGA host, and this is where we are in America, a Fox News contributor floated the idea that Daddy Trump could vaporize Queen Maxima of the Netherlands with a bunker buster after she clearly mocked Trump during. So that's where we're at. We're just casually suggesting.
Because his fifis were hurt.
World War III.
Daddy. What is with their daddy issues? I can't with the calling Trump daddy. I just.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, ew.
It's so icky. And we can't have two daddies. We got Daddy Newsom.
Yes, we do.
So you talked about midterms. At least 7 Senate seats will be open in 2026. I mean, honestly, I truly believe we can take back the House and the Senate. I mean,
I do too.
If not now, never. I mean, I don't know what else he would have to do.
Not now.
Yeah.
Right. Because Thom Tillis is out. I think that's good. North Carolina is a good opportunity, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. The other person that he threatened was a judge in Israel to stop Netanyahu's trial, fellow war criminal.
Yep.
Yeah. Netanyahu's trial is going to. It's weird they're not listening to Trump. The Israeli court has refused to postpone the corruption trial of Netanyahu after Trump demanded that the case be dropped. What? His delusions of grant. How does he think he can demand other countries do things or drop, lawsuits?
He thinks he's a king.
Yeah.
He really does.
Of the world.
That's right.
Now he's not just going to be king of this country. He thinks he's king of the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. He can't find America on a map, and we all know it.
And we all know that Leonardo DiCaprio was the king of the world. I mean, come on.
Hello.
Okay, Frangela, I love you. You can get you can get final word, idiot of the week, sexyliberal.com. Happy 4th of July. Love you so much.
Love you.
We'll see you Monday.